Scroll down. Here. Okay, we got that going. Hi, Filian Servant. How are you today? No one wants to have this conversation, it seems like. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, I'm over here. Why do I sound so zesty? 'Cause I'm a little spicy today. Yeah, thirst trap thumbnails. Gotta do this for science. Okay. We got the little bit of zest going on today. I hope you guys enjoy it. What do you mean I'm mentally ill? It's for science, don't worry, but it's okay. So today, I felt like... So, let me turn the music down just a little bit. Just a tad. Just a wee bit. Just give me a second. There we go. Perfect. Okay. No, fuck off. I don't need you. What? Ill mentally? Menially? I guess. Hey guys. Did I break something? No. Go away. Stop that. Hey guys. I did fuck up. Hold on. It's okay. I fixed it. Okay. The porn model's just because I like the model, okay? This is a really nice model. Do you not like it? Like, not just that I spent like $5 on it or $30 on it. The model's very nice. I am Vyuma. Jesus. Don't insult me like that. Come on, Melee Man. You can't you can't kill me like that, okay? I used to be on IMPU. I know exactly what you're talking about. Stop it. Ow. I took some painkillers because I have like a stitch in my side, so that's a thing today too. I have a Sonic fan character model. Ooh. I never did Sonic fan characters. I did, I was a furry. Like, extreme furry. Anyway, what I want to talk about, the reason I want to talk, I've spent the last fucking 2 hours trying to decide on what VR game I wanted to play. I'm not as cringe anymore. Now I'm just hot. Anyway, so I spent the last 2 hours trying to decide on what VR game I wanted to play, right? You might be like, oh, so you decided on VR chat. No. I chose VR chat because it would let me talk to you guys and I'd be able to express my hands. It's not like I'm going to have any examples to bring up anyway. Yes, I'm hot. Shut up, Chungu. I am conventionally attractive. Surprise. Or at least I'm not conventionally unattractive, so there's that. So after spending several hours trying to decide on what VR game I wanted to play, I'll have you know, I may not think I'm the sexiest person in the world, but I do know where I lay, and that is definitely a 6. Anyway, so I was trying to decide on what VR game I wanted to play, and I was like, do I want to play VR, Project Wingman? Do I want to play VR, VTOL VR? Proof? I have thigh pics, Fillion Servant. They're public. They're in my Discord. Come on. So there's that. What was I saying? Shit. So VTOL VR, Project Wingman. What else do I have as a VR game? I mean, besides VR chat, right? Because I got VR chat. And every time I thought of a VR game, thigh pics. The thigh? I posted them because they're hot. And I had shaved, and I had all kinds of stuff on. They're somewhere in my Discord. I don't know where. Claude, can you ping my thigh pics? Somewhere? I don't know where they are. Anyway, so I was looking through my VR games, not VR chat games, my VR games, and I'm like, what VR games can I possibly play to be interesting? And I kept coming into the problem of, if I was playing a VR game that wasn't VR chat, you guys would be seeing from my eye. And that's bad. I know some of you get motion sick and stuff, which is really unfortunate. And I try to avoid games that have that because I like being able to have people enjoy the content I play. Claude is going to do that. I thought you've seen them already. Anyway. So I'm sitting there thinking, what possible game could I play in VR that wouldn't make people puke? And I thought about how I would go about making VTOL VR not make people puke or have less of a chance of making people puke. Can you stop? And I've come to the realization that it can't really happen without taking away a lot of the information that would give you context to what's happening in combat. So if I got into a dogfight, you guys wouldn't really know what was happening until something exploded possibly in your field of view, and it may not even happen, right? Because if I'm looking around at whatever action's happening, you'd be able to see it. But the spectator camera for VTOL VR only shows, like, it doesn't show any UI elements. It just shows kind of the plane flybys and stuff. But the spectator camera for VTOL VR is also really ass. Both because it's only out of one eye. It's almost like a helmet cam. I don't know if it is a helmet cam or not, but it's almost like a helmet cam. And then on top of that, like, you'll get the information, but it's, you know, my head movement, right? So I'd have to smooth it out somehow. I'd have to get smooth head movement. I don't know how to do that. I might be able to turn on the smooth headset stuff or whatever, right? To make my headset move smoothly for you guys. But that would still come with the problem of I'm moving my head for you. You may not like that, right? I don't know what that means, Melee Man. Did you ping it? Yeah, Pandat pinged it in my random shit here. So you can... Someone ping Fillion... What is your name in Discord, Fillion Servant? Is it just Fillion Servant? Da 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 na 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 da na 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 na. There's not actually that many programs that would do that. I would have to use the smoothing system built into Steam VR to do that. When face reveal, not happening. Not anytime soon anyway. This is not for my safety. I don't give a fuck about myself, right? It's for the safety of my grandparents and family that I have currently at the moment. Where am I? So if I... Okay. So if I, other than that, you know, oh yeah, there is that, like, almost guarantee when I try to become president, when I turn 34 in a few years, I'll try that. That's a thing that'll happen, attempt. The attempt will be made, right? So, what was I saying? Fuck. So, Steam VR's got a smoothing system for the headset, but it's not that great, and it feels janky. Right now, just so you guys know, it's super jank in this world. I don't know what it is about this world, but it's just kind of lagging like a motherfucker. I don't think it's my headset, and I don't think it's my computer. I think it's just whatever is going on in this world is a little bit intense for my PC. So I might have to lower some of the settings. Yeah. So for VTOL VR, there's that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of that because I'm not that smart. I would just use a smoothing program for the camera. What I would like is to have a camera that I could, you know, take off my head for the use of moving it around, and then to have a HUD like you would in a video game like Project Wingman and right in desktop mode, right? I'd like to have just that. What would you do as president? Be president of the United States. Duh. Like, there's a lot of things that need to happen, but in something like 5-6 years or whatever, things will change, so I won't be able to. I don't know what the landscape is going to be just yet. Give me free healthcare, please. That's not as easy as you think it is. And it has nothing to do with what my thoughts on insurance is. Something else. Don't worry about it. Let's see. What was I? So Project Wingman has a similar issue, except this issue is that I don't even get a spectator cam. So you'll just have my headset doing Project Wingman stuff, right? I think it'll be okay. And it'll not be as bad as if I would do VTOL VR. Ironically, VTOL VR's streaming functionality is actually really bad because it's not very well implemented and all that stuff. Corpos don't want it? Of course corpos don't want it, but I don't mean that, Chungu. There's a lot of things that would have to go into being able to do universal healthcare. And the problem is there are downfalls to having a universal healthcare system that are very real and tangible downfalls, right? Cancer checking should be fucking nothing. Like, absolutely, cancer checking should be free. And, like, having certain things become free for everybody because it's an essential, you need to know if you have, this or this or this. Like, did you know it costs several $1,000s to get screened for sexual diseases? Yeah. I said, fuck not. Like, what? Like, I didn't even want the results because I had one. I wanted results so that way I could be like, I don't have any of these. See, I had a check. Get fucked. Right? But I can't now. Yeah, you can donate into YouTube. Yeah, you can donate in YouTube now. Directly through YouTube. I don't recommend it because it holds the money until I get $100. And I've still got to verify my address pin or some shit. I don't know what that means. I guess I'm waiting for something in the mail. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, by the way. YouTube is making me wait for them to mail me something in standard mailing. Just go to my Buy Me a Coffee. Come on. I've literally jumped through way too many hoops for this. I don't even want it. The only thing I can say is you can spend $2 a month to have cool custom emotes. I have 4 of them right now. They're the custom emotes, but they're now usable on YouTube. I think you can use them anywhere, but I don't actually know. And I plan on adding more as more people get more memberships, right? It's only $2. The reason it's $2 is because it would either be $1.99 or $2.99 or $3.99, and I don't know why it's all 99 cents. That pisses me off. I want it to be a flat $2, but, fuck me, I guess, right? You can, Chungu, but you can't use them. Also, we need 46 more subscribers and, 100 more watch hours, and I'll be partnered with YouTube. Let me check. Hold on. So I'm at 3,654 public watch hours. I need 4,000. And then I have 954 subscribers. I need 46 subscribers, and we'll hit 1,000. Yep. The watch hours are relatively easy. I just got to do my long streams again, and it's over the course of a year. So we'll probably hit it either in a couple of days or so. But do you really want to be partnered? You don't sound like someone who want to. I don't care about being partnered, right? Because what it means doesn't affect me drastically in terms of monetization. So a lot of people who are on this platform as a job, not unlike me, right, that do this as a job, want to be partnered and want the money from the ad revenue. But I'm all against ads. I hate ads. Ads are stupid, right? So my primary revenue being from Buy Me a Coffee. Please donate, by the way. I really need the money. So please. But the Buy Me a Coffee is a direct payment to me. The only people who get a cut off the top are the Buy Me a Coffee people, because they get a cut for doing the money transfers and shit, right? And it's only like 4% or something. It's like, it's dirt cheap. It's nothing, right? YouTube takes something like 30%, or like there's a total of 30% that just disappears from whatever you guys give me through that. So yeah. The only reason I even considered doing partnered is because I'm convinced that getting affiliated and partnered through YouTube will increase the algorithm effectiveness. That sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's absurd. That's just an absurd amount of money for them to take to be basically a money go-between for this, right? But, you know, there isn't it spelled coffee? No, it's coffee with a C, because I don't have a Ko-Fi. I have a Buy Me a Coffee. There's a link in the description. You can go click it and look at it, or you can type !tips in chat. Type !tip and you'll see it, right? Is it tip? Is it tips? I don't know. It's one of those buttons. It's not tips. It's not life tip. Life tip is something else. So it might just be tip, right? TIP. There you go. Oh, it's give tip. I forgot. Forgot about that. Yep, see? Buy me a coffee. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Shit. The functionality for streamers involved in VR games is actually pretty limited. I don't know how... stop doing negative. I don't know how... Beat Saber does it, right? I think Beat Saber lets you have a custom camera that's set up somewhere or something. I don't know exactly how it works. Come on, don't freak out on me now. I just set everything up. 404 page no exist? What do you mean? Let me, I have a better idea. That's wild. What? Yeah, why isn't that one working? Hold on, let me double check the link. That might be just the wrong link right there, and it might be wrong on Twitch. Yeah, log in. Google. Oh! There's a 2. I must have accidentally pressed the 2 in there somewhere. That's upsetting. I'll have to fix that later. Okay, there's no 2, so you gotta get rid of that 2 at the very end. It's just 87H. So, I don't know what happened there. What happened here? Where am I? Where I am. What happens if you give me $1,000? Excess, what do I do if someone gives me $1,000? Because, like, it's not going to get you a date. I've already ruled out dates and stuff. That's not what happens, right? None of that. It's not a be happy, scream. I don't Yes, Exus. I'm consulting you. You're my voice of reason. Capone's not here just yet, right? He said he'll be here in like 20 minutes or something. Ow. You do like an ara ubu thing? No. There really isn't enough money to get me get an IRL headbat from viewer to streamer. No, I've ruled out dates. Dates are not a thing, right? Because I can't. That starts becoming the parasocial relationship thing. You don't want to do that with your viewers. So no, right? Don't do that. I don't want to give you guys a false instance of whatever, right? Because I don't want to give you a false streamer experience, right? Everything you see here is me, right? There's no fake personality or any of that shit. I don't understand with the fascination with IRL stuff. Yeah, I'm a VTuber. Why do you want to... What's going on there? $1K Pillows forced to participate in a D&D one-shot you run. And I can't fake it. So, like, I can't just be an asshole about it. You know what I mean? I have to actually try. So, the thing is, it's only parasocial if there's a belief of friendship and what's the word? Not understanding. Friendship and reciprocate. Give and take, right? There's a understanding of give and take when there isn't one. That's what parasocial is, right? Like, yeah, I can't. I'm stumbling over it. And I'm looking at the word down. When does support turn into parasocial? Support turns into parasocial whenever you expect something absurd. But I know that most streamers don't have like an interaction with their... No, that's not correct. They don't have an interaction with regular fans. They only have an interaction with paid fans. I don't want to have a separation between non-paid fans and paid fans. I want to have the interaction be between everybody, so that way there's no sense of you have to spend money to talk to me, right? Yes, I have. Last game, Melee Man. That shouldn't be a standard. You know, that shouldn't be a standard. What was I saying? Fuck. When it comes to parasocial interactions and the way I do streams, I don't want to know stupid living thing. Not yet. Hold that thought, Council. When it comes to that kind of interaction, I try to discourage the interaction being fake, right? The interactions we have in chat between me and chat, right, are actual interactions. We can be friends. Is it if we only interact just through chat, we can still be friends, right? Anyone who says that's not friendship is full of shit, right? They are actually just full of shit. But there is that, you know, outside of just the stream, I try to interact with the community as well. And so, you know, I don't want to not have a interaction. Yes, friendship has many definitions. Pay to have senpai notice me, you plebs. No. Anyway, go ahead, Council. You can say things again. That's what membership streams are also for. I think. Wait, hold on. Did I put membership stream as a thing you can get by being a member? I don't think I did. I think I turned that off. Minecraft morph? What does that mean? Like, because you can customize what the different levels are, and the only way I can change them now is if I delete an old level and add a new one, which isn't particularly difficult, but it might go under review again. Hey, Breloom, how's it going? So I hope membership streams are turned off properly, because I didn't want that to be one of the goals. None of the things I listed, I hope, are things that I am against having happen as some kind of interaction. Yeah, so for regular Wispies, there's a member-only live chat and priority reply to comments. So if you leave a comment and you're a member, I think I get a little thingy that tells me you're a member, and I get to be like, hey, how's it going? There's your thing. Do I have gameplay with me twice? Oh, I do. That's funny. It's fine. That just means you get 2 of them. You get 2 a month. So I have it set to the big Wispies, the $5 ones, is member only videos, member only polls, and early access to new videos. I know videos are very slow right now, but it's fine. And then General So's Wispy, that's one of those is enough to buy me a full General So's meal thing, right? It's like a 3-pound bucket of General So's. And then you can play games with me and connecting on social media. Connecting on social media at this point in time means I follow you and send you a message on Blue Sky, and I will allow you to friend request me on Discord, and I will accept it. That's $15. Am I shifting? I'm moving a little bit. What's up? Yeah, so just so you know, chat, right? Just so those of you who don't know, I have full body. Right? I'm awesome. What's your day job? This. Hi. I'm a streamer full time. I shift around because I'm standing, right? I'm just standing still. I don't have enough space to walk around, because I'd absolutely walk around if I could, but I can't. So, since I can't walk around, what are you? There you go. There. I fucked it up. Hold on. There you go. Blue Sky has been terrible for me, by the way. I just want to... Can I crouch or jump? I can't jump because I have a fan, but I can crouch. But, so real quick, Blue Sky, no followers. No one has refollowed me from Twitter. And so I've got... What is the number right now? I have 30 followers on Blue Sky right now. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a lot of followers on Twitter anyway. I only had like 300 or 400. But now that I've started all over, I get no engagement. None. Go look at my Blue Sky, right? Like, you'll notice that I start asking, like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And there's no engagement on those either. So, like, the only reason it's more than yours, XS, is because I've been posting almost every day. I get 1 or 2 follows every once in a while whenever for my live stream thing. It's, yeah. Also, how's it like living in Florida, by the way? Florida's cool. I like Florida. I'm an outlier, apparently. I like Florida. I like the weather in Florida. I like the stand your ground laws in Florida. So, yeah. And submerge Miami. I'm going. Yeah, that's fine. I don't like Miami. It's okay. Crouch jump. I can't. Do you mean? Hold on. Hold on. When you say crouch jump, do you literally mean? I wonder if I can do it. Right. I hope I don't hit my fan. This would suck if I break this headset. Right. Do you mean that? Cause I can do that. Come on. Crouch first, then jump. I didn't crouch first and jump. I just jumped. Are you a gun owner? Yes. I'm genuinely surprised nothing like broke tracking wise, because these are really shitty straps. But yes, I own a gun. For self-defense, because I live on a farm. I need a gun for self-defense, because there is bears, there are wild dogs, there are, you know, have you ever seen a deer get fucking wild? That shit's not safe, bro, right? It's mostly the bears and the wild dogs though. And you know, maybe the stray homeless person trying to, yeah, there's bears where I live anyway. North Florida. I hunt deers. Yeah, but have you ever seen a deer with rabies? That shit's terrifying. Oh, snakes. I actually had to use my gun on a snake not too long ago. So it was, as far as we could tell, after looking into it a lot, right? I looked into it. As far as I can tell, it was an invasive, poisonous species of snake. So killing it was okay. And we shot it with a lot of ammo because we had nothing else to do. So we shot it until it died. It was fat too. Like the thing, like, let me get you guys closer because I want to show you guys, like, because I can give you a good approximation just by using this, right? So it was like this thick, right? Like that thick, and then the thing was like as long as I am tall, and I'm like 5'10" or 5'8". I am 5'8", absolutely 5'8", right? 100% 5'8". Oh, do it right. There you go. Python? No, it was not a python. It was absolutely a poisonous species. It was, I don't remember what it was. It's an invasive species that exists. I know it was an invasive species. Yeah, I know it was an invasive species because Florida snakes, native Florida snakes, only get like 6 feet long, right? That sounds wrong. Was it 6 feet? No, it's like 5 feet. Like, there's outliers that get longer than that, but this thing was way too big and way too long. Hi, yes. It was way too big and way too long to be a native species of Florida. And so it's just like, oh, this is an invasive species, right? And I tried looking into it. It was a really weird coloration. Like, it was really gray, even though none of the invasive species were supposed to be gray like that. But, you know, we killed it and then buried it, so... We had to kill it, by the way, because we have cows, right? It was big enough to be a threat to those cows, right? We assumed it was poisonous because we think it... Yeah, that's nothing I can fix. I can't fix that. I cannot fix that. It's because the mic I have is a Vive Pro headset, and the mic port is covered, and then I have my fan going right now, and that's probably not helping. It's basically wind, right? That's all that's about. Sorry about that. I can't do anything about it. Fuck. Yeah, no, we used guns. Granex, we used guns. So we solved that problem with violence and gunpowder. I need to get I can't just cover it with a sock because it's my entire headset, right? It's flush with the headset. Right here. I have to get a thing that covers it, that's a wind guard or whatever, that'll let my talking through, but it'll protect it from the wind. I can get it. It's like $30 on Amazon, so I have to get it. Also, since when can you fit 128 gigabytes into a tiny chip? New tech is so weird. Yeah, Chungu, you can get to a terabyte now. I don't know if you can get to like tiny, but you can get to a terabyte pretty quickly now. Can I? Oh, that's upsetting. Okay, so we can do that. But I can't. Yeah, it's either on or off. I can't, like, yeah, okay. That's really upsetting. Transistor very small now. Sand calculate very fast. Yes. My shiny rock go speed. Or how in middle school it cost me $20 to have a 512 megabyte flash drive, and then by the time I went to high school it was only like $10 for 4 gigabytes, and now you can buy cheap 332 gigabytes for $5. Yeah. Yes, I live on a family farm. The primary reason we're a farm is actually just for the tax benefits. Like, we own 3 cows, I think. There might be 4 now. We just own cows. We have enough space to be classified as a farm as long as we keep cows on them. Cows are very low maintenance to keep around for very long periods of time. We don't, and they're all old, so we can't. So they don't want to do things like farming like vegetables and shit. Yeah, like that. If you live a farm, you get tax benefits, and also anything that involves with that farm specifically can be not a tax write-off, but what's it called? A thingy, right? I wanted to move over. I need to move over just a little bit. There you go. So yeah. See, I don't know, Melee Man. I go pretty fast on my computer now. It goes room. Like whenever I go into Arma 3, the computer starts going vroom. You know what I mean? I like that. It's fun. They're just beef cows. Sometimes they pop out a baby. Hey.
What?
The cows that we have.
Oh, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sometimes they pop out a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes these cows that we have will just, like, you know, a baby.
I guess they do it when they're in the mood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever milk your cows? No, they're not milk cows. They are Angus cows, I believe. Doesn't Angus just mean asshole?
I don't know, actually. Now that you...
Pretty sure it does. Like, whenever someone says Black Angus, it just means asshole.
So trying to milk them would be a moo point?
No. It would be moo.
You know, if I look down, I get to stare at my boobs gently jiggling as I move side to side.
Yeah, this is when I joined, apparently.
That means that you're a Holstein.
What?
More cow stuff. Don't worry about it.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. They're
burger
classic
glitch?
milking. They're classic milking type cows.
At the moment, we're not butchering the cows ourselves. We sell them at auction. It's just a little extra money for it, right? And it's cheaper to load
Nice
them up and
collab.
sell them at auction. The butch, I don't think we've butchered our cows for a long time. It's been a while since the last time we butchered cows. Buy access.
Oh, okay. Buy access.
Well, bye access.
But yeah, Holsteins are the stereotypical black and white moo cows you think about. They're good for production, but not for cheese. That would be like brown Swiss or Jersey, right?
But we don't have
Like
any
those-
of those. We have.
No, you've got beef
yeah,
cows.
Yeah. Really sadly, they're not. They're not even very good breeds or anything like that. So they're not getting a lot at the auction. Like I think the last one we sold was like $400 or $500 at the auction.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not
Damn.
a lot. Does it justify having the cows justify being had because they're tax benefits, right? But they don't. I don't have a chest IRL. It's called being flat. That's why having a chest in game is so nice.
Looks down at boob.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's down at nothing IRL, unfortunately.
Yeah. I have
I'm
the
fat, so I can look down at boob.
I have the unfortunate genetic of just not having anything all the way down. Just.
Be honest, I never cared for size. on a
Plywood.
lady.
I'm a washboard high. No, wait, I'm not a washboard because I'm a little chubby. Once I get ribs, my ribs showing from not eating enough, then I can be washboard.
Drywall. I rock wool.
Chopping board.
So we can sleep with you and play with you because you're a pillow and a washboard.
Oh God.
There was a guy I used to work with that we called single ply.
What does that even
Why
mean
did
at
you
that
call him
point?
single ply?
Like,
So like,
what
because
is no?
plywood made me think about it, right? So I was working for this company called Air Energy. You see, I'm fucked up because I came up with the name single ply, right?
I was thinking
God.
about you like toilet paper. I was like, wait, what's this history?
So here's the problem, right? He blew up the outhouse. Like we're talking the F option, all right? Like he detonated that shit. We had one. We had one for this whole week of training that we had to do. We had one outhouse, right? It was so bad, in fact, that like I think day 2 going into what do you call it, post shit, they actually ordered a shit house cleaner to come out and suck that shit up because they were just like, nah. That's how bad it was, right? Now, here's the unfortunate part. Dude is proudly Native American, right? Now, when I say proudly Native American, I mean like dude's probably like 8%. Like one of those, right?
More than most people, but
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like 18, 20.
dang.
But I mean, that's like I know my biological though. So
basically, he lets the small percentage be like, I am this.
Exactly, like he jumps up and down about
Working
it. Most
on
people
white
who
man oil field. How ironic. Chill out, Melee Man.
No, like that is the irony. Like dead
yeah.
ass. Like, if I applied for my native card, I wish I had done it now. Seeing what's happened. Oh man, with how I was treated, if I had my native card and I'd got done dirty the way that I was, I'd be rich. I'd be so fucking rich. It'd be an easy slam dunk of a fucking court case, right? But like the problem is otherwise you have to just like you're not fired, your contract is just not renewed, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, right. But anyways, the deal is that home dude blew up the fucking outhouse, something awful, right? And so the homie was like, ha 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 ha, shitting bull, and I was like, oh man, nah. So like, how we found out that he had exploded the bathroom, right, was the fact that he came out of the bathroom like flinging his hands and shit and like rubbing them in dirt and all that other. Yeah, single ply. He missed.
Oh.
yeah, and everybody kind of just like made a wide berth around him, like, no, don't touch that, right? So I called him single ply.
God. Anyway, he didn't wipe his ass properly.
Yeah, that electrician made a video about it, right? Like, you know, if they're single ply, like that's the whole thing. Like when I work for a company, if I'm high enough up, I'm like, at least get the 2-ply, right? You don't have to get like the 3-ply, get the 2-ply, right? Because if I see single ply, I want you to imagine me doing the toilet paper roll off the fucking holder, wrapping it around my hand this whole time that we're talking. That's what's going to happen. That is what's going that is going to happen for like 5 minutes between wipes. I'm telling you, if it's single ply every time, right? You're not saving money. You're not going to save money.
Yeah,
no,
you're not.
Don't
because
use single ply.
Use like more toilet paper. It's awful.
You save money by using multi-ply. Unironically.
Just 2-ply. It doesn't even have to be thick. That's why there's like, oh, it's like thicker and cushion. Like, yeah, but then it clogs
Would
the
it
toilet.
perhaps be within your consent to abbreviate your title of yourself to PHQ?
What?
PHQ?
Hello, Hive Queen.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't know what that means though. By the way, my ethnicity is white as fuck, and there might be a bit of Blackfoot Indian, but I don't trust my mom, so I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I actually have a few friends that are native, which is the funny about it. They keep telling me, dude, just fucking, you know, find out what tribe you're from for sure, get your card and go to school. And I'm like, bruh, I can't go to school anymore. I wish I had a.
Find out what tribe you are and become war chief.
No, war chief. Well, Navajo, 90% sure Navajo. Like, cause my bio dad, we talk.
Oh,
so
wasn't the last official war chief Navajo? I don't remember. Fat Electrician did a video on him.
I like the last. So like as far as I think he was Navajo. The last like official war chief, because there's criteria.
Yeah, you have to, you know.
There's a fat list of criteria. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Fat Electrician did a video on him.
You have to steal horses. You have to capture nerds. You have to collect scalps, and some other dumb shit. And like, you know, in the 30s and 40s, that you can't do that, right? Like that's just not going to happen.
Not normally, but you know, then there was a war, and people weren't really looking too hard, and so the last official war chief, I think it was Navajo. Don't quote me on that, right? Did that, and he's the last war chief.
I'm gonna look it up.
I want to wipe with fuzzy green leaves.
Yeah, Medicine Crow. So, Medicine Crow.
What was he? What was he? Navajo?
1 second. Let me see what tribe he's from, because you know Wikipedia does Wikipedia things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got the name word medicine in his title, and he kills people.
No, he's Crow. He's Crow.
Oh, he's Crow. Different tribe.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was Navajo.
Yeah, I mean, like of all the warring type, fuck you, Johnny Law type Native Americans, like, you know, the Navajo are up there. So, same thing. Same thing with like the Chickasaw, though they didn't sign. Like there's a whole history to all this shit, and it sucks that we don't like, you know, we don't teach it in schools. I mean, for obvious reasons you don't teach it in schools, because oh no, the government bad. Don't say it ain't so, right? But there's like I think there are 3 tribes that didn't sign the charter. I could be wrong on that. I know the Chickasaw is one of them. So like the whole Trail of Tears and shit and all that stuff, you know, not so much, because they were like fuck you and they were holdouts, right? And not even in hindsight, like even at the time, like me being me, I'd be like, I can't fault these motherfuckers for not wanting to, like, you know, leave. It's, you know, they've already been told to move and then move and then move, and now they're being told to move to what, a shithole comparatively?
Yeah.
Not to call Florida a shithole, but like, how much did Walt have to spend to turn Disney World into Disney World? I'm just saying.
My pants don't want to be up; they want to fall off. I'd do this naked if I thought I could get away with it.
Just comparatively, what is there like? Think about people who, generally speaking, like, you know, hunt for food or farm, right? Like, what are they going to get in Florida? Or in the South, period. It's all swamp and shit. They ain't dealt with that.
I mean, you can hunt in the swamp, but it's just not as
yes,
good.
yes. Let's go hunt. Let's go hunt the fucking swamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the gator learning curve's kind of big, Pillow.
Yeah, the gator. Yeah, if you live here and you've been raised here, it's not such a big deal, right? But like when you're coming from hunting, I don't know, deer and what else?
Yeah, from
bison,
from deer, bison, fucking birds.
Like you can't just walk up to a gator and stab it in the face with a spear. You gotta. There's a certain way to do it.
I did learn something hilarious about gators from working in Louisiana because it was part of the JSA. It was part of the gators were part of the job safety analysis, right?
Yes. Yep. That makes sense. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
and
you gotta break the gator's legs. You gotta break the gator's ankles. So you don't run away from it straight. If you're facing gator, right, and it's not already chomping at you, or hell, if it is chomping at you, you make a 90 and run. Right? They don't lateral so well on land, but they can push pretty quick in a straight line. Yep.
They can move faster than a person can run in a straight line. But at the same time,
it'll like what we taught for the JSA is 20 feet.
So here's the thing, right? That's only if you don't have something to whack it on the nose with, right?
Oh yeah, sure, but
whack
like we're not going to tell anybody. No safety is going to tell you to whack a gator on the nose about it, right? That we're not going to do that.
This is where you have someone local who can say things that the safety guy can't say, right?
That walks around with a cast iron on their hip because they don't know when they might want to cook something. Clung, yeah, that local, yeah, but we didn't have those.
Yeah, no, you need one.
They existed though. I've seen them. I fucking seen them. I swear to God, I've seen them. I'm just like,
to be fair to Florida, the learning curve is very hard and difficult. Setting is set to Florida man levels. Yeah. Hi, I'm from Florida. I was born and raised here. This is not difficult.
A dude was out there in coveralls and an Alice pack, right? Just out where we were like surveying, and I'm like, "Hey man, you camp out here?" He's like, "Fucking camping? What the hell? You don't talk about camping?" I'm like, "No, ain't." I'm like, "No, dude. Like, why are you out here?" He's like, "I live over there." I'm like, "The fuck you don't."
You almost said the N-word. Locals definitely be built.
You will never know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But no, it was weird. Like swamp people, they exist and they don't give a half, right? But he had all his kit on him like he was camping, and I just pictured him wielding his kitchenware like a deadly ass fucking weapon.
Oh, it is though. A deadly weapon, his kitchenware. I mean, that's assuming that he doesn't pull out his knife for whatever he's killing.
Well, yeah, that. I mean, like, I think he had a machete.
No, he had a machete. I've seen. So back when I was younger, right, and I lived in Sarasota, right, I had a friend who rocked around with a knife.
Coveralls? I'm pretty sure he was otherwise free balling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just coveralls.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I had a friend when I was younger, like 16, 17, right, when I lived in Sarasota, and he had a knife that was like, fucking this big, right? It's like, a foot long knife or something like that, right? And he just rocked it up in his pants. And like, he'd just walk around town. Like, we would go on, 4 or 5 hour walks just around town, right? And fucking don't. Sarasota sucks. But like, he pulled that shit out and I'm just like, isn't that illegal? It's like, it's only illegal if you're caught. And I'm like, fair. Because, I was a stupid kid at the time.
Yeah. Oh, and geese are easy. Just grab the neck.
My thumbnail's porn.
Like, I haven't fucked with these hyper aggressive, supposedly Canadian geese, but we got some pretty nasty geese out here, especially around water holes where people go fishing and shit. Just grab them by the neck. If they start wilding out, they crick their neck a little bit and they calm down, and it's like, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Understandable. Night
machetes aren't that great as weapons. They are just tools. That's the thing. But sometimes you only have a tool, and I'd rather have a machete than a stick.
I'd rather have a machete than a knife.
That's true. Yeah, same.
Like 9 times out of 10, I'd rather have a machete than a knife. And again, it depends on the machete, right? So like there are machetes that are meant to cut like branches, right? And then there are machetes that are meant to cut brush. And a brush machete, kind of flexible, you know. It's going to get stuck in bigger things. Where the machete meant more for like, you know, tree branches and shit, thick stuff. It's heavy. Most people don't want to carry them, and that's why you see a lot of people walk around with a little bendy Home Depot status machete.
Yeah, I wanna unironically, I wanna have a proper kukri, like proper one.
Oh,
that would be so useful.
Should say that.
It'd be so fucking useful. You don't even know.
They're all right. Like man, where did I put it? They're all right. They're not super great. Like I have 3 of them, and I normally keep I'm pretty sure I have it in the. Oh no, I must have put it in the G spot. Yeah, I put it in the G spot. All right. The problem with the cookery is that they're not comfortable to wield at all. Like they're really not. Like I don't understand what the benefit of it is, other than having a hand axe that's all blade. Like that's, you know.
That's why I want it. A hand axe that's all blade. Because you can still do brush stuff with it.
They're a little heavy for that. Like that's my problem with it. Like they're like I would use that for like, you know, I don't even know. Like that's the problem with it, because I have a machete. I have a machete that's for brush. That is cookery like, right?
You should treat it as the Amazon. Florida's not as dangerous as the Amazon. Not really. I mean, unless you go into the fucking swamp. Don't go into the swamp, right? Like there's a like, here's the thing. You know when you've gone into the swamp. It's a national reserve. We have signs everywhere, okay? If you go into the swamp, your safety is not assured. But as long as you're not in the swamp...
Absolutely not.
What?
Like, it is not. You are absolutely right. It is absolutely not assured. There is no safety. There is you're a local or you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, you're a local or you're going to be on the side of a milk carton.
Don't get me wrong. There are trails through these areas meant for tourism, and those are relatively safe. Relatively, you could still die to, you know, the various water moccasin and shit like that. You don't want to be around. I don't recommend going to Florida to explore the swamps. Okay, in any capacity.
You know what? That's what happened. Okay, so my legit super fat, too heavy, why do you have this cookery is boxed up already. I think it's in storage. God damn it. I do have the home security one though that I'll show you that I normally use for like brush. You know, I'll send a picture of that. Like
there's been a couple instances in the last few days, the last few weeks, where I've needed something like a machete or a kukri around. A hand axe would be nice too, but I just don't have that, right? We have a really shitty machete that's not even sharpened, and to be honest, it's rusting because we didn't put it up, and it's a trash, cheapo machete that's still somehow together. So, you know, no, I haven't shot any snakes in the last... It's been about 2 years or so.
This is some 800 stainless, by the way.
You sent me a picture?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look.
Yeah, that's the home security, aka brush clearing machete.
Yeah.
It's got the speed holes in it because it's fucking heavy.
I don't need 5 axes. I literally just need like one that I can have at any time that I possibly need it. You mean I was confused by Melee Man. He said Tom Girl vibes, and I'm like, don't you mean Tomboy vibes? Can I know your story from beginning to end? You'll have to look at the other streams. I've told my story a lot.
Florida.
Meanwhile in Florida.
Yeah, that's the story. Meanwhile in Florida.
that's my life in Florida. If y'all don't know, hurricane came through fucking, it was a couple months ago? It was the last big one?
Wrecking ball.
Yeah, it came through, knocked down a tree under one of our sheds, and we got to clear it off, right? And it's like, it would have been really nice to have that hand axe then, right?
Okay, yeah, that would have made mad sense.
Yeah. Then also we had a rake where the handle, the inside so it's one of those cheapo plastic rakes with a wooden handle, right? Which the wooden handle's great. The cheapo plastic thing at the end collected water and it rotted inside the little the thing, right? So we had to pull it out. It broke off. We had to pull that out and re-screw in the handle, right? And this is the whole thing. It would have been a little bit easier if we had something to cut the tip off of where it had rotten, right? We didn't have a fucking so the machete that I had, that machete I was talking about that was rusting, it's got a saw blade on the other side. That came in so much handy, it's not even funny, right? Because we couldn't just chop it because the machete wasn't heavy enough and it wasn't sharp enough to chop through. So I had to saw through it, and that was a pain in the butt, but like, there you go.
And remember, machete no text.
Yeah.
You know what?
So,
I will check this one box because I haven't sent like this. It might be in here, which I'm prepping to go to the storage.
You don't want to send your kukri to storage.
I mean, I kind of do. I have that and a bunch of other miscellaneous things around the room. Like I could go around the room, start taking pictures of all the cutlery, but that served little or no purpose.
All idiots in my county didn't understand one of the road laws when the stoplights would break after the hurricane ruined everything. Oh my god! So this is, as far as I know, this is nationwide, right?
Nationwide is on your side.
If your stoplights don't work for whatever reason, power goes out. I had this happen over in Indianapolis as well. When I was in Indianapolis, power got shut down because of the a snowstorm or something, right? If your stoplight's not working, every single intersection is supposed to stop, check both ways before crossing, and then cross. It acts as an all stop. This is nationwide. There is nowhere that this is an exception, as far as I can tell. Okay?
There are variables. Yeah, it was in this box. That's cool. I'll take a picture and send it to you. In California, there are a couple of rules, and the one that a lot of people don't remember is if two cars are stopping at an intersection and it's not opposing traffic, so obviously you both stop and you both go at the same time because it doesn't matter. You're literally gonna pass each other. The person on the right goes.
I think I know what you're going. Yeah, but like as long as there is the point in those rules is to prevent accidents, right? I do agree with the all stop. Like you should absolutely just stop, right? If your stoplight's not working, stop. Just stop, right? Look both ways, find out if you're safe. If you're safe to cross, go. Fucking bye. Don't waste time. Right? If on four-way stops, I don't know how it works in most places, but on a four-way stop, right? Everyone's supposed to stop. First person to stop goes. End of story. Do not be that motherfucker that waves at someone across the street to go first. Okay? Go in your order. If you take your turn the right way, you don't slow down traffic. But if you start waving at someone to go, you're wasting the guy behind you's time, you're wasting your own time, and you're wasting the person across.
You're being a douche.
Yeah, I understand why you think you're being nice. Don't do that. Don't do that, right? If you're on the always stop, both of you are stopped, right? And you were there first, go. Okay? And don't worry about it. If they're turning, it doesn't matter. You go first. Yeah, the first person to stop is the first person to go.
Generally speaking, but in California, that's not always the rule. The rule to go with is on the right. But yeah, like as far as common sense is concerned, it's the first person to stop. Now, in every fucking state in the union, what classifies a stop? Right, a complete stop.
Yep.
Anybody in the class wanna answer that one?
I want to know, what is it?
When all the energy has left your suspension.
What?
When the energy in your suspension is gone.
That's bullshit. That's impossible.
No, it's not. Because guess what? You have shock absorbers, okay, and you have springs.
I see what you mean. Okay.
So
Yep.
yeah, so once your car stops at no, it's not. Oh, let me rush up here before this dick bag and come to a stop. You know, and your whole nose is digging into the fucking ground, and then you go like, no, it's not a stop.
Yeah, that's not a stop. You have to stop completely. Yeah. What was the last thing? There was one more thing I wanted to talk about real quick.
That's the medium-sized. That's the medium-sized cookery, by the way, that I sent.
I go look. All right. You find it?
Yeah. I'd found it. Like it was.
Honestly,
it's
that
in the
looks
box.
smaller than your other cookery.
No, that's a machete. That's not a real cookery. It's just got. I bought that one. I bought that one at a fucking what do they call it?
A swap meet. You're using Selkie pornography saddens me. They recognized it was Selkie.
Oh no.
That's great. No, stopping completely is not dumb. Melee Man, it is not dumb. People are stupid. They need to stop completely.
People are dumb.
Yeah.
People are dumb, and they need to. Because here's the reason why stopping completely is important, right? So the dumbass that hauls ass up to a fucking, a broken, a four-way stop. The guy that hauls ass up to a four-way stop and slams on the fucking brakes just to cut it right before the line and then keep going. He doesn't have control of his car. I'm sorry, he doesn't. If something happens, if something at all happens at that intersection where I think it's something stupid like 80% of all accidents are that are on the road, not in a parking lot, on the road, happen at an intersection.
Chungu, right? Did you cut someone off? Someone keyed Chungu's car.
That sucks. Man, I would I won't say anything about that other than someone keying my car would make me upset to a degree that would to a degree.
I will have you know that I will violently defend my car and its plating over someone else.
One of those things that people don't realize, the reason why Americans are so uppity about their shit, it's not life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what they changed it to, right? It's life, liberty, and property.
Yeah.
They changed the property part to the pursuit of happiness because, the little thing went down in the 18s and stuff changed.
By the way,
of course, for the better.
Something else to know. If your light doesn't go, if your light doesn't turn green for something like 5 or 10 minutes, depending on where you live, you're allowed to go.
Yeah, you just got to do it in a safe manner.
Yep.
I can't remember what the time is, but
it depends on where you are. I know in Florida it's 10 minutes, and I think in Indianapolis it's 10 minutes or so. Or 15 minutes? You'll have to check, though. It's different. I do know that one is specifically different depending on where you live. It's state by state, right? So, if you're stuck at a stoplight because it won't change for whatever reason, then you can go after a little bit. But it has to be, actually 10 minutes. Don't just go, oh, I think I've been here for 10 minutes. No.
Fucking Chungu. If you want to hear, I'm pretty sure Pello's heard this story. So Pello, I'm sorry.
What story?
What I used to about what I do in my off time when I used to work for this Volkswagen dealership.
Uh-huh.
All right, so because Chungu's a bit mad at vets and vet owners, right?
Yeah.
So where I used to work is a dealership called what is it? Timmins Volkswagen. I think it's off of Cherry in Long Beach, right? Now the reason why the location is really important is because they had the second most sellingest Corvette Chevrolet dealership in Southern California, maybe even in the state, right? Was down the street from where I used to work. Now my Golf is not a normal Golf, right? At all.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would do is there was this tertiary road off to the side that you could chill at, that you could see people rolling out of the Chevrolet dealership.
Yep.
So what I would do is I'd wait for someone who was going in a test drive in a vet to roll out onto the street, and I'd hustle my ass up behind him because they're gonna go around the back and either go under the tunnel that goes under the airport, or they're gonna go along that back road that's along the back of the dealerships, right? Yeah. Yep. So many people, I guarantee you, so many people went back and said, "No, I don't want a Corvette."
Why?
Would you whop down $60,000 on a two-seater that's allegedly fast after just being smoked by a square shitbox?
Oh, you're evil. That's evil.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was really funny too because one time, one of the salesmen came. He was pissed. He showed up at the dealership. He was so fucking pissed. Oh man, he was like,
"Oh man,
you got a motherfucker in here with a red POS. He needs to fucking stop." And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I didn't hear what he said. You know, I got the reenactment of it from one of the techs up front. You know, one of the desk people.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the lead technician, he's like in the back trying not to laugh, right? And as it's getting more and more ridiculous, as I'm in the back washing cars, because I would either do brake jobs, oil changes, or wash cars, part-time job, right?
Right.
And I didn't have my ASC certification at the time, so I wasn't trying to be a mechanic. I just wanted the easy shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like making my way to the front, and as I'm getting closer and closer, fucking Rob locks eyes with me and starts just busting a fucking gut, like old ass man laugh, because this dude back then was like 60, right? Just couldn't hold it anymore. So I got to the front, and the tech that was there was like, you're real lucky the fleet manager isn't here right now. And I'm like, why? He's like, really? And I'm like, what do you mean really? And she's like, only one person here drives a red square car, right? Like, what do you I'm like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, and I start grinning like all teeth, just start grinning. I'm like, wait a minute, that's someone from the Chevy dealership? Oh man, it was fantastic. No work got done for the rest of the day because all the other, because where at Timmins, where the where you drop your car off is like, it like echoes from there into the rest of the shop. So everyone was like, what the fuck's going on? So all the techs are up there up front, like, hear me retell the story about what I'm doing. And a couple of the guys are like, what the fuck, right? Because I don't leave work like, what? I just creep out of there like real quiet, like, so I ain't trying to like blow up the spot, right?
Right.
And so like so they were like, nah, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, no, seriously, like, you want to come back, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I showed them the 200 naturally aspirated horsepower Golf with a double shot equaling 150 fucking horsepower nitrous kit that I've got in it, right? Yeah, and they're like, nah, and I'm like, yeah.
You're such an asshole. Holy shit.
And the car with me in it only weighed 2,100 pounds.
God damn. Nitrous? Yeah, nitrous.
So even with 200 horsepower, yeah, nitrous. I love nitrous. Nitrous is fantastic. Like, don't let anybody fool you, okay? Like, a power adder is a power adder, all right? Like, it's not gonna. The only way you're gonna blow up a car on nitrous is if you get greedy or if you don't install it right.
Looks like a piece of it, you go 200 kilometers an hour. 200 kilometers an hour is peace. Go faster. Go 300 kilometers an hour.
Sorry, dude, you can't tell me. I put 120,000 miles on that shit and, like, I don't know, fucking 40 bottles of nitrous. Like, you can talk the shit if you want. I'm just saying, I'm literally telling you, the only time people blow their engines with nitrous, when they blow their shit up, right? They get greedy or they don't install it right. It's 120,000 miles with nitrous. The Golf has 580,000 miles on it.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Okay.
Anyway. And, like, let's not even get to the fact that, like, literally my race car, like, going to the track when I was, like, really active 20 times at least a year. And when I say track, I mean like Button Willow or Willow Springs or Pahrump. I got to take it on Laguna Seca once.
Melee man, you're talking to someone who does car stuff. The only reason why they don't do car stuff now is because they are medically unable to. Did your box ever say 10 horsepower?
Box said 10 horsepower. But yeah, no, I'm not trying to be like.
No, I'm being an asshole. It's okay.
Yeah, no, the box said 10. That's where I got the joke from, because like back in the day, like especially back in the day, people didn't know about shit, and that's where the stigma from blowing up your engine comes, right? Most people that drop a nitrous kit on their car, they do what's called a dry kit. That's stupid. Don't do that. That's really stupid. What you do is you have what's called a wet kit. So you're not just adding nitrous, because nitrous breaks down into oxygen, right? It's also super cold, so it's increasing the density of the air. If you do a wet kit, you're adding fuel to the air, right? So if you just add, say, nitrous, which let's just imagine that that your car, you know, your average car is running between 12 to 14 to 1, you know, 12 to 14 parts of air to one fucking hydrocarbon, right? When you hit it with the nitrous and you do it with a dry kit, you're hitting it with at least like 20 to 1. And your car has to decide what it wants to do about that, if it's going to do anything. And when you run lean, you will absolutely burn a hole through your piston, right? Like most pistons in modern cars, are made out of lightweight shit. It's a performance thing, but not for like speed, for like, you know, efficiency, right? Because you know, less moving mass, you know, less work the engine has to do. So a lot of engines end up being light on torque but high on horsepower, which is efficient. All that crap. But once you put the wet kit in there, you can keep it more close to that stoichiometric, which the perfect stoichiometric is like 14.7 to 1 or something like that. But that varies dependent on your engine. It's not the same for every car. It's not the same for every engine, right? Because like, you know, the hemispheric engine is going to be, you could run a hemispheric engine a little leaner because of how the heads are built and how they mix the air and the fuel, right? But yeah, the short of it is that nitrous alone is not going to blow up. What I mean by alone, I mean like just because you threw nitrous at a car doesn't mean it's going to blow up. If you do it wrong, it'll blow up, and if you get greedy. So like with me, I had a dual stage kit because I don't want 150 horsepower all at once, because that's kind of dumb. Hitting any engine with suddenly, you know, an extra 75% of its natural power is going to be a problem. Just all at once, boom, not so good. So I set it up so that there was a throttle switch, a real janky one. Like I wouldn't do it this way again. I'd probably do it in standalone, right? Like I'd have it know what my throttle position is, and I'd say, okay, if the throttle position is from here to here, then I want you to engage nitrous. If this switch is flipped, that says I want nitrous, right? So what I would do is I had it to where when the switch is activated, right, when we have wide open throttle, if wide open throttle happens below 3,000 RPMs, right, then I think I set it for 5,000 for it to engage the second nozzle of the nitrous. So between 3 and 5, it would have me a little bit of a ramp, right? I'd go from 75 to 150. On the dyno, it ended up being more like 130, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Shiny Breloom said that they love you and thank you for existing.
Wait, who? What?
Breloom in YouTube chat.
Oh, okay. Hello, Shiny, and thank you.
The Autobahn is no longer no speed limit. They imposed a speed limit on the Autobahn. It was a while ago. It was like 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Well, I thought that was on some portions of the Autobahn they imposed a speed limit.
Yeah, I think they did it for the whole Autobahn. You'll have to double check on me. But they did that because apparently people were crashing so much on the Autobahn, which makes sense.
Well, I mean, just like as things go on, you know, people have less and less respect for them. So, like, that's why, like, because I remember, I forget who it was. It was some big YouTuber. They threw nitrous at a thing just for the sake of throwing nitrous at it and blew it the fuck up, like, almost immediately. And it's like, oh, you know, comments, oh, it's what you get for putting nitrous. It's like, dude, they literally
what you get for being an idiot.
They literally threw the fattest jets they had in the kit, okay, at the car. And they didn't size the jet for fuel for the size of the nitrous nozzle, right? As a matter of fact, I think they mixed them up, which is really bad because the fuel nozzle was supposed to be bigger, you know, than the nitrous nozzle. And in this case, you know, you could see it in the video. I went back and scrolled through, like, dude, they fucked up, right? Of course they blew it up.
Come on.
Huh?
Don't you have a story about Utah? About going through the no speed limit area in the desert?
Negative.
Who was it that had the story?
My only story about Utah is that it's kind of weird.
I know someone had a story about going through the area that doesn't have a speed limit on the highway, the U.S. highway, and like they were stopped by a cop, and the cop told them, you know, I know there isn't a speed limit here, but like, you know, I don't want you fucking dying because you'll die if you crash out here. You know what I mean? Because there's no help coming for you.
Mealy, as far as the math is concerned, you don't put the nitrous before the math. You put it after the math, right? You don't want the car to freak out about like seeing a bunch of fuel, right?
Don't go to the salt flats.
Man, salt flats suck.
Don't go to the salt flats.
Salt flats suck. Like, everybody that's brought their car out there, like, if they don't immediately hose the bitch down, like, it's just, that's no longer their project anymore. It just turns to shit. It turns to salt. Everything turns to salt.
Yeah, don't go to the salt flats.
Wires rust and shit. You know, it's just like, what? Where? How did it get in there? I don't know. You know, like, it sucks. You have to you'll end up having to completely rebuild the car. You know, every fastener, you know, your suspension, everything. You have to rebuild the shit out of it because you're like, oh yeah, I want.
You're supposed to go to the highway that doesn't have a speed limit and hope to God you don't get stopped by that one cop who doesn't want you to fucking die. Right?
Yeah, that bit like... melee is hyperbole. Oh, I mean, actually, no. Some of it is. You know how people use those cheap fasteners to like plug wires in the fucking into relays and stuff? Like, that will rust. You know, when it's like tin or whatever, like, it corrodes.
Yeah. And Chungu, just go to a local racetrack, like a proper racetrack. If you don't have one, we have one. We have a couple in Florida. You know, and going to Florida is not very suspicious because Florida's Florida. You know.
Like I've seen. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's just, you know, I'm just saying, you know, go to Florida, right? Fly out to Florida, have your car delivered, whatever, or drive out to Florida from Canada. Go to a racetrack in Florida. There's a couple of them where you can pay to, you know, go on the track, right? That's it. None of them liked me when they showed up with their truck. They wouldn't let you on. Why? Hold on, Chungu. Take a picture of your truck and send it to Capone. He'll tell you why. Or they're just idiots. I mean, they might think your truck's too slow. Driving a wrecking ball that can smash through steel isn't a good thing. It sounds like you're going to the wrong racetrack. I'm glad your truck is green. It might be green. Oh shit, I've been pinged. Why? Oh.
But yeah, I've dealt with water damaged cars before, and like I've seen like factory harnesses rust to shit, right? You'd think, oh yeah, that's fine. No.
It's considered your work car, so you fucking can't? I mean, what do you mean by work car? Is it like owned by the work, or is it like yours? Like, if it's not yours, then I can't do nothing about that. But if it's like yours,
one thing that I always thought was hilarious, because it's a thing now, it's normal now, right? But like, the joke was back in the day, people would get really salty about, like, I'll just say an off-meta vehicle, like at the street races or at the racetrack, right?
Yeah.
There'd be some prejudices about that. Like, that's not so much now anymore, but like, for instance, there was a guy who had a Hyundai fucking POS, like a Hyundai, like back then, you could buy an $8,000 car, right? And it was a Hyundai, and it was a shitbox, absolutely. It had crank everything. It didn't have a radio in it, you know. Like, that motherfucker showing up at the racetrack, people would talk mad shit, right? And it's like, but bro, if it's fast, it's fast.
Yeah, it's like, stop whining about it.
like shut up, right? Like the more shit you talk, like I don't think you understand how this game works. The more shit you talk, the worse it's gonna look when you your EF hatch Civic with supposedly B16 in it gets the shit smoked out of it.
Hi, do you want to get smoked? You don't feel like you want to be a pipe? That sounds like fighting words there. Use a gas-electric hybrid engine. If I don't want to push the speed, I can get high as fuck efficiency. Yeah, you guys do all of that stuff. Meanwhile, me on pure gas gets like 45 miles to a gallon. What's up?
What did I just witness?
I don't know. What did you just witness?
I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh no. Does it got sound?
Actually, you know what? No, it doesn't have sound. I'll post it. I'll post it in text 1 2, so the class can bear witness to this thing.
Perfect mask doesn't exist. It's a perfect mask, yeah. He's from Florida.
Gotta be.
No, it's not the mask that tells me. It's actually the room he's in.
Oh no.
That's Florida architecture. I'm pretty sure I've seen that house. It's one of the prefabs, but that's what we do. Florida jug? It's not got anything to do with the jug. I mean, okay, to be fair, the jug is also Florida, right? I'm pretty sure that's just a Florida jug. But if you look in the background, his room, that's a Florida light, you know? I've seen that kind of room before. I don't know what kilometers and liters are, Chungo. Please speak more American, please. Thanks. American, yeah, I'm American. I don't speak not freedom fractions. What's up? Ask any questions. I will answer the best I can. I don't want to learn to convert measurements. I don't need to. We got to the moon first.
Was it 45? Wow, that is a lot. I thought it would be a lot. That's a stupendous amount. That is a fucking stupendous amount if true. So, Chungu saying their truck gets 105 MPGs. Okay.
If I want to find someone with similar opinions to you, where should I go? Bars, etc. Good luck. I know most of me is because I have brain, and so I've formed opinions over time. You're not really gonna find that easily.
Most people, when they go out, want to turn their brain off for one reason or another.
Yeah, that's not an insult to people. I'm not saying people are idiots. I mean, they are, but that's not what I'm saying, right? It's
yeah.
This, all of my opinions and thoughts and words are cultivated over years of stupidity. Right? So, good luck finding someone, with any kind of opinions like mine. Yeah. So, if you wanted...
Well, it's less about people having their brains turned to mush and more as an example for me, right? If I'm an average night for me when I was not crippled, right? An average night for me, if I was going to go out, there's a couple of bars I would go to, and the whole point of going to those bars was to drink liquor and potentially start shit, right? That was my MO, right? Some people do that sort of thing to approach a potential fling, right? And in that case, their brains are turned off in a different sort of way, right? But when I'm just showing up to talk shit, I'm there to turn up, right? I didn't come there with my brain intact.
I'm there to turn up and put up.
That's it.
So, I would recommend. So, first of all, you got to find out what opinion.
Oh, good luck.
Bye, Chungu. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, what is the opinion you want to date? Okay, that sounds weird. You're never gonna get a package deal you're gonna like all of. Okay, that's something you have to accept first of all. That's how it is in most things. Unless you spend years cultivating an individual that you want to hang out with for the rest of your life. And by cultivating, I don't mean like teaching them opinions or anything like that. I just mean finding someone that has a lot of niche opinions that you agree with or don't hate, right? But that's like a completely different. That's years and years.
I'll put it to you. I'll put it to you. I'll put it a much better way, a much safer way.
Okay.
What she means is building a relationship over time.
Yep.
And the problem with building a relationship over time is that two areas exist: the friend zone and Palcatraz.
Jesus.
And like, if the longer the duration you are cultivating this relationship, the closer to Palcatraz you become. So like, there's this weird area where you've got to like try to keep yourself out of the friend zone, right? Because like, let's say you've been cultivating a relationship for a couple of years with somebody, right? So you've somehow done that whole time without being in the friend zone. This has happened to me, unfortunately. I went from friend zone one night to Palcatraz a day later, and I was like, how the fuck did I get here?
What is Palcatraz?
It's like, friend zone is like a house, right? Friend zone is a house, right? It's a place you can go, you're comfortable there or whatever, but you know, there's no fun to be had in the house. It's where you sleep and where you're comfortable, right?
Right.
Alcatraz is a fucking prison of which there is no escape, and it is not comfortable, and it is a terrible place to be.
So, if I had to give my opinions on where you should go, first of all, cross off bars. You don't want to go to a bar to find a person, okay?
Yeah.
If you just want to get laid, go to the bars, right? You could get laid.
I would say clubs are better for getting laid than bars.
Probably, but my point
you don't
stands.
Want regulars.
Yeah. So if you're actually looking for someone, you kind of want to find a person out in the wild that's kind of just doing something that you don't mind them doing once in a while or most of their life. So, for example, if you want them to be building shit, go to Home Depot, right? Go to Lowe's. Find someone who's alone and obviously doesn't have a ring, right, on their hand, and then, strike up a conversation. See if you can nail it, right? But that pun wasn't intended, I swear to God.
Now the other thing that I want to throw in here is super important. So a consideration for if you're actually looking for, if you're looking for companionship, please try to select a target-rich environment. So if you're a girl looking for guys, yeah, Home Depot could work. If you're a guy looking for girls, not Home Depot. If you're looking for guys, Home Depot could work out.
Yeah. If you're looking for girls who are more outdoorsy, you do need to go to an outdoorsy place, but you need to go to an outdoorsy place that caters to both, right? Bass Pro Shop is a good example, right? I wouldn't say it's the best, but you could probably find a couple there that aren't, vapid airheads that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That kind of thing. Unfortunately, a lot of times, if you want an outdoorsy kind of person that's a girl, you're not going to find them in a shop because they're going to be out doing shit, right? And that's almost impossible to find because they're out being outdoorsy.
And the other thing that you have to, like, if you're talking about hobby type stuff, the other pitfall you got to watch out for is the knowledge gap, right? Ideally, you would want to hang out with someone who doesn't know less than you, right? Necessarily, but you have gaps in your knowledge and they have gaps in their knowledge, and those gaps don't overlap, right? Overlapping gaps can be fine because you could make a fun thing out of both of you learning, but nobody really wants to hang out with someone that's going to lord it over them unless that they're like not lord it over them. Like no one wants to hang out with a know-it-all unless that's their thing, right? Like if they want to hang out with somebody that like knows a lot of shit, then that's one thing, right? Like that's I cool, whatever, right? But a lot of people, especially when we're talking about like staying out of the friend zone, right? If you want to stay out of the friend zone, like you want to give someone the opinion that their knowledge and their lived experiences are not just valid, but useful. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Son of a bitch. Oh, I'm gonna learn this thing that you just taught me.
There is something to be said.
Is nice.
Yeah, right. There is something to be said about finding someone who's doing a hobby that you're not necessarily interested in, but you're totally okay with them doing that hobby, right? And that's an important, if you can find someone that's absolutely into a hobby and doesn't care if the person they're with is part of their hobby or not, or rather, let me be clear, you should be interested in being interactive with the hobby, okay? You can't just ignore the hobby, okay? If you do that, you're just gonna push the person away, and it won't be a good relationship, right? But if you're okay with being around a hobby that, say, for example, they like guns and they like going to gun ranges and stuff, right? You're not necessarily down for going to gun ranges and shooting guns, but you don't mind going to the gun range and being there with them, right? That's okay.
If you don't like guns, don't bother.
Yeah,
don't bother.
If you
don't like guns, don't even fucking bother. You're not gonna just so. Oh, turns out I like them all along. No. Just don't even bother.
Yeah, because you're just gonna push the other person away if you don't like whatever hobby they're interested in, right? But if you're okay with being around a hobby that you don't know anything about, but you're not necessarily against, right? Then you'll be fine, right? That's totally okay. There's plenty of overlap with not being part of a hobby, but being interactive with a person who likes the hobby, right? And that's the kind of person you want to have around, is someone who will also be okay with interacting with your own hobbies. Yeah, people can go. My internet die?
You're still here, but your stream choked it. You're fine. You're back.
Yeah, that was weird. I got a ping and I heard it and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, that ping was my internet fucking dying for a second.
Shiny as an example, again, when we're talking about like target rich environments, right? Like that's where comic book store kind of is a faux pas on the target rich environment. Again, depending on what you're looking for, right? Like if you're a guy looking for girl, comic book shop, I wouldn't even bother, right?
Yeah,
like
no.
that's not a don't do that.
Girls don't go to comic book shops.
If you're a girl looking for a guy, don't go to a comic book shop either, right? Because the simping will be real. I've seen it happen so much. Like it's disgusting.
I've seen a handful of times where girls go to a comic book shop, but I genuinely would not do not recommend any of that, right? I can't even recommend comic book shops as a whole, right? It just isn't fun. So I've been to a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments IRL. No. No.
Yeah, you bump into like you can bump into the worst at comic book shops. Like I've had bad experience at comic book shops. I've had good experience at comic book shops. I don't know. It depends on like the personality that's there, right? Like the personality base, right? Like if you're going to a comic book shop and you don't like metagamey little shits, and you play a couple of card games and you find out that people are metagaming really fucking hard, then you just don't go there, right? And pick another one.
I can't do that. There's only one comic book shop that actually does Yu-Gi-Oh stuff here, so it's either go there or don't go there. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's kind of like that for Warhammer around here. There's really only 3 areas, like three. There's only 3 shops. There's the Bunker, it's the official Games Workshop, whatever, and then there's a couple of comic shops that do it, but like that's within 100-mile fucking radius, right?
Yeah, if I want to have options for comics, I have to go to Jacksonville, Florida. That's where all the comic places are, or not all the game shops are. It's really upsetting because like there's a bunch of them over there, right? And I'm like, why are you over here? Why aren't you over here? Well, can't you help me out,
Chungu? I hear what you're saying. Like, if you like the problem is though that's a pitfall. That's a pitfall because it will lead to step 4, right? Having money gives you the ability to give less of a fuck, right? And giving less of a fuck has a lot of bonuses to it, including the lack of desperation, right? it gives you the ability to leave the ball in the court of the other individual more frequently, right? Which means that, like, you're not the one sitting there, with the million and one questions, right? Like, you're not having to answer all this shit as to, oh, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Like, bitch, I don't care. I got money. And you don't have to let them. The best thing to do in that situation would be to not let them know. Like, stealth wealth is the best way to do that, because, like, if you do, which has happened to me, if you do have a little bit of money, and you walk around like you have a little bit of money, one of the primary, if not the primary motivator for the person showing interest in you is going to be the money.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You really just don't want that.
They'll tell you all kinds of bullshit. Oh no, I just like that we can do things. Like, right, but that's the money. Oh no, I like that you could take care of me. Yeah, but that's the money. Right?
I will say, you should consider going to conventions and seeing what you can find. But I wouldn't say, how do I put it? You want to do it slowly, right? Because, like, if you go to, for example, I'm going to use Comic-Con in this specific instance, right? If you go to a Comic-Con and you find a couple of people that you might be interested in, and they, reciprocate a little bit, right? You don't want to immediately go into a relationship there. You want to cultivate the friendship first and find out. You
want to hang out. You don't want to fuck. Don't go to Comic-Con to fuck. If you're going to Comic-Con to fuck, that is the biggest waste of money. That is absolutely the biggest waste of money. I can tell you right now, right?
That's Melee Man. That's exactly why if you go to a convention, you want to make sure whoever you're with is an okay person. They're not crazy.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Because Comic-Con, if anyone that's willing to bust during or at or shortly after a Comic-Con, right? You can't you can't trust that.
I will say though, all of that said, if you can definitely find someone at Comic-Con and, romantically and slowly cultivate that, right? Like, but it's the long con, right? It's not you can't just do short-term stuff. You have to be long-term about it, right? We're talking 2 or 3 years. We're not talking like, oh, you met them at Comic-Con and like 6 months later you got together. No, right?
Well, you want 2 years. 6 months. 6 months is enough time. I would say after a Comic-Con, like, if you guys are still cordial, like if you guys are still talking, even hanging out and shit, like, it all depends on what, we're not talking you guys have been just online shooting text at each other for 6 months. I'm talking like y'all have gone out to eat and shit like that. Oh, that might be worthwhile, right? Like, after 6 months, like that's a reasonable amount of time to find out whether or not someone's, the level of crazy you do or don't want.
I think the audience needs to know your credentials for getting with people, Capone.
What? Oh no, I'm good.
You're good? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry. I don't like talking about that, especially not online. Fuck that.
Oh, okay.
Shit's embarrassing.
Not like that, but I just meant,
yeah, when I was before this whole thing with YouTube, before this whole thing with YouTube,
no, Melee Man.
Before this whole thing with YouTube happened, and when I mean with YouTube, I mean, like, there was life before YouTube. There were loads of fellows out there that just, you get out of high school, you go straight into school, you get out of high school, you go into the military, you come out, and you're like, well, I want bitches, right? And it's like, well, okay, that's number one, that's the wrong mindset, right? Meeting these couple of dudes, we got this idea, entrepreneurial type shit, right? Why don't we charge people to go to the club with them, right? And it's like, what do you mean, right? It's because fucking dude's named Mueller. Like, what the fuck's this guy's? What's the deal with this guy, right? Like, okay, cool. Well, like, if we wingman for these dudes, we can teach them how to not just meet people, but pick up chicks, right? Like, how to start conversations and shit, right? How to people watch, right? And it's like, yeah, sure, why not? So we did this whole, I went at it just like you would any other business model, right? Because, like, at this point, I'd already been selling cars, flipping cars, shit like that. I already had a fucking an LLC and all that shit. So I already done all that shit. So I said, well, fuck, whatever, why not? I'll just attack it like I would a business model and see what happens with it, right? For me, it was mostly just using this gig to pay me to like go to clubs, go to bars, and pool halls and shit, and basically all that for free. Like that was my idea with it. It wasn't like a stupendous amount of money we were charging anybody, right? But like word of mouth, because one of the dudes was a guitarist for a band, and the other dude was a sound guy. Like word of mouth spread real quick, and this was just kind of the thing that we did.
Yeah.
Like it's not hard. Like it's just like 90% of it is confidently striking up conversation with anyone, right? Like that's it. That is like 80% of the game right there. That's game.
Melee Man, I'd stab you because I'm from Florida. It has nothing to do with like anything else. I'd just stab you. You know? So my credentials for all of that is I have 2 boyfriends. What's up? So I think that speaks well enough for itself, right?
Yeah. 80% of the game, like what I would teach is 80% of the game is just striking a conversation confidently, and then the other 20% is not
no,
wanting to...
No, I don't want 3. I'm good. I don't need a 3rd. But, you know, that's my credentials for giving stuff, life advice about having sex and getting with people. Not necessarily having sex, but getting with people for long term. I spoke of long term because long term is better. It's longer lasting. It's just
not just that, but if you're going into shit looking at it long term, it's going to be less of a waste of time in the end. Like it's like short-term relationships seldom work out. Like if you're going to, if you're looking for, because there are loads of people out there that they're literally just looking for a booty call, right? Like if you're looking for booty calls, whatever, that's fine. But like never try to turn a booty call into something long term, and never treat something you want long term as a booty call.
Yeah, that's important. I'll dry myself in code first. What do you mean by that? You mean Mountain Dew Code Red? I wouldn't recommend that.
Code Red's dope. Be quiet.
No, I just wouldn't recommend drowning yourself in it.
Oh yeah, that would suck. Wrong pipe. Code Red, terrible.
Yeah. But Chungo, Mountain Dew Code Red.
Booty calls long term are not healthy. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for anybody's mental health.
Booty calls in general aren't high back. Something I can actually talk about.
Hey. What, booty calls?
Not Florida.
Oh, ha ha ha. But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing given that human beings are communal animals to like, you know, do something like that, right? Because like, you know, sex is like the end goal of a relationship, right? So you're treating the end goal as the primary goal.
Yes.
Right? You're treating the end goal, I'm holding up air quotes when I say that, as your primary goal in that situation. And
I'm a red flag.
It's something like good sex is like 10% of any relationship, but bad sex is like 90%, right? So like if the sex is good and your goal is sex, then you're literally in a 10% relationship. And like that long term, there's no point to that. Why even do that? What's up, right? Like that's dumb.
The point is to be with that person and also to have a family.
10% of relationships fail. 10% of relationships fail whenever it's just good sex.
Yeah. The point is you want to be with that person.
Like the first question.
Go ahead.
The first question you need to ask yourself is, do you want to be with a person? If the answer is yes, then sex needs to stop being the answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because there's so much more. Like you're like, even if I'm being very generous by saying good sex is 10% of a relationship. I'm being very generous because like that means that 10% of the time that you're spending with this person that you want to spend with long term is bumping, right? Like, okay, so y'all gonna bump uglies for Yeah, that's a stupendous amount of time.
Just
So if y'all spend 10 hours a
10%.
day,
10% of 365 days, right? That's what is 10%? That's like
30 something. They'd be like, I don't know, like it'd be like 30.
A little more than a month.
twice a month at least.
Yeah, because the idea in a relationship is like, are you willing to go through whatever bumps in the road with them as well?
No, and Pello, you're not looking at it as the 10%. No, we're saying that out of a year, there is from start to finish. Okay, we're talking 30 plus days of bumping, like in hours. Okay, that's 10%, right?
Remember,
I don't think.
Regardless, that's.
Remember, you have to take away 6 to 8 hours for sleep. So for every single day, it's like I'm just trying to help everyone visualize what that amounts to, right?
Like imagine
like
a full 40-hour work week. Imagine a full 40-hour work week. Y'all think it's nice right now. Let me tell you, I have been to this place. It sucks when you look at it and go, man, I don't want to, man. I'm tired. I'm good. I don't. No, man. Like that sucks. That sucks to look at it and go, that's a chore.
Yeah. So
yeah. But besides the point, that's the point is that it's not the end all be all in a relationship, especially if it's like something. Because if it is, and it's like, okay, well, what if something occurs where, your significant other suffers some kind of accident or whatever thing that can't happen anymore?
Meds will do it.
But no, I'm saying like any kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like literally a beta blocker. Okay, a beta blocker, like the number for males, like the number one oh no side effect for any kind of beta blocker is sex drive evaporates.
No, I also meant like, what if I'm.
So
I don't know.
So
like,
I want to put forward
a car accident or something, and they're like, you can't. It's almost impossible. So what I'm saying is like little things. If it's like, well, I can't do this anymore, it's not worth it. Then it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
You're a shallow, horrible, disgusting individual. It's like
what I'm saying is migraines or high blood pressure or anxiety. These are things that are more likely to happen to a person than a car accident that's going to cripple them. That's why I brought up the beta blocker, because it makes sex a non-option. It ain't getting up. It's rope, right? You can't do anything with it. It's just there, right? So like,
for that one guy that's got like 16 inches, he can whack people with it.
Bump.
But I'm just saying, because like even when I'm like, even when I dated and went with someone, like all I really care. When I think about it, it's like all I really want is just like there's a girl next to me, rests her head on me, hugs me. Just the connection, just the physical contact, even just a hug, even just look at each other. I love you. Good morning. Just
that's what most people kind of want, but then like a lot of people don't understand they want that.
Yeah, people don't know that they think like, oh, I need more than that. Like, no, really, what you need is just the companionship and seeing that every day.
And you absolutely should take money and throw it off the table as something you should consider. That sounds difficult to do, but think about it for a second.
What happens when it's gone?
Yeah. It's like money can't be a defining throw money off the table. Yeah. You can't have that be part of your defining relationship. Like, we support each other financially. That shouldn't be part of your relationship. It should be a nice bonus that is completely unrelated to your relationship. That's not to say that if they can't support themselves and they're relying on you to support them and they're not giving anything back, then it's you got to consider that too. But I'm just mean, that you both supporting each other financially shouldn't be the consideration of the relationship.
The relationship is not 50-50, it's 100-100.
Yeah.
You gotta put your 100% and they put their 100%.
Oh, pro tip, don't get a shared bank account. Don't get shared a bank account. Don't do that. Don't do shared bank accounts.
Because you can basically share your accounts by just having your own accounts. And share the money.
Melee Man, you want to farm and grow food? Go to one of the farms in the Midwest.
Yeah, just go to a state where they grow shit. or don't physically go there. Just Google up who grows shit, right? And then look up and see what state benefits there are for that, right? Because there's going to be more state benefits for that, depending on the state, than there's going to be Fed. And like, you could get enough grant money to get you going for a little bit if you're good at it and you think it's something.
No, they want someone who'd support them with that. And I was saying, go find the different farms that exist, and then see what kind of daughters and stuff are around. Go for that.
Yeah, I mean, in your case, I'd be like, go like, hey, like, find Casey Jones, the farmer edition, who's got like, fucking 5 daughters, no sons. What's up?
Yeah.
You're like, hey man, you need farmhand? There you go.
Yeah. Don't go to a small town though. Do not go to a small town.
Oh yeah, do not. You'll never get any play ever. Like, and by play, I don't mean sexual. I mean
like each other in a small town.
Yeah, it is so hard to build trust in a small town. It is so fucking hard. It is impossible to build any kind of trust in a small town. And the second, like, from experience, the second you show interest, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna say the second it'd be like you screw up something, everyone's gonna be like, oh.
Even this is a screw up. The second you show interest in somebody there, they're like, oh, here comes Fancy Pants City Slicker coming to steal all our women, or whatever the fuck, right?
Basically,
like, it's
the whole town will act like the jealous big brother, being like, "What do you think you're doing?" I'm like,
yeah,
you don't even know
Pippa
her.
is like out of. It's like just out of range to be like,
and
I
you're
like
just a
this.
nurse. Why are you acting like you own her?
What do you mean, Breloom? I don't know what you mean by that.
Pippa is just out of range to be like, what?
I don't know. Yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking him to clarify. That's why I'm asking him to clarify.
I must have missed
it.
I
had my first fling was a messianic Jew, but she had gender issues.
Okay.
They're just expressing that sex is not their primary motivator. Okay. Yeah.
But what about Pippa thing? What's that got to do with Pippa?
Is like just out of range to be like, I like this. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But Shiny, to answer the earlier question, something that, and I meant to say this earlier, something you should do is you should pick up a hobby.
I see what you
mean. Something you should do is pick up a hobby that, like, you need to do out, that you don't necessarily need to, but you can do outside of the house. I would say, like, if you have a community college near you, you could pick up drawing, man. Like there are I know that the 3 community colleges that I've gone to, one in Texas, 2 here. Like they got all kinds of programs for all kinds of shit, right? Like, mind you, I was going there for certification and shit, but like I did, because I didn't have shit else to do in Texas, right? I did pick up a drawing class, and let me tell you, there was a lot of ladies in that class. Right?
Or even if you're already at like university or college, just join a club. It's good to join a club if you can. I've been in clubs that are great. Or in my case, because I'm like in college, university, I'm like, I have friends there, and I already did D&D, and when one group broke apart, I was like, hey, we've known each other for over a year now. You guys want to like play D&D? And now we have. It's been over a year, and we were like. We play it so much that like Friday nights have pretty much, even if we're not playing D&D, have become the go-to, like, hey, let's hang out if there's no D&D, because we've already set aside 3 hours of our day on Fridays. So if I'm not running a game, someone else runs a game, or someone goes to the mall or whatever. So now it's like we kind of have like a hobby, and now several people want to run games, and I've already let one person do it, and now it's like, hey, we're all really communicating with each other and really getting to know each other. Something
to consider too, as well, is you could consider doing online dating. And I'm not saying it's going to be amazeballs or anything, right? But if you set it up the right way and you make it clear that you're not looking for flings, you should be able to find someone eventually. Like, it would be something to do passively in the background, right?
Yeah, I would say don't really expect anything to happen with that. Unfortunately, the metrics for online dating are really skewed.
Yeah.
like incredibly skewed. As a matter of fact, I think online dating and fuck finders are like the problem with why dating is so weird now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it really is, because like that goes back to the you know, and chicks want to say like, oh, it's not about sex, it's not about like then why are you on Tinder? Why are you on Tinder matching? Why if it ain't about sex, right? You know, then why are you like, you know, why your body count up here, right? Why your body count way up here if it's not about that, right? Like you can't tell me that, like, you know, so it's like, or they could say, oh well, you know, I gotta know if they're worth keeping around, yada yada. I'm like, well shit, man, like if you're doing that to figure out, doesn't matter, man or woman, if that's what you're doing to figure out whether or not it's worth putting in the effort, then your numbers should be your body count should be way lower than that, but it's not. So that means that, like, you know, that isn't the thing, and if it is, you need to reevaluate how you're doing this.
Yeah, I've known like some people online, some friends who are like, "Oh, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that,"
And
it's
something
like,
else,
just
something else to
slow
note,
down,
right?
basically.
Today's dating market is ass, not just because of how difficult it is to find someone or anything like that, but currently, right now, girls are difficult to get along with because of the different things going on right now. And I won't get into too much into it, but you understand, right? So that's
the metric
a problem.
is the metrics for most dating websites. I'm holding up these air quotes when I say dating websites, right? The metrics for most of these dating websites is that, like, the top 20% are getting all of the attention, and that's it. Like that's it, right? And that's when it comes that's when we're talking heterosexual. It's females are all shooting for 8s and up, right? Even if they're like 4s. And it's like, lady,
it's like, bruh, you're not even worth the water I poured on your face.
Like come on, right? And then and even worse than that, like, you'll have these guys that'll try really hard, right? You'll have these guys that'll try so super hard, and they don't realize what's happening to them, right? This is another thing that we warned about in this little, I don't want to call it a class, because it was literally a hangout and pushing people to go talk to people, right? We would explain to them, be careful about, because back then it was speed dating. Be careful about speed dating, because we do know there are people out here that are literally using this just so they can eat fancy multiple times a week.
Yep.
Okay, like, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel about these about Tinder and shit. It's literally just people out here look and say, oh well, you know what? I want to go to Red Lobster today, right? And then, oh, let's see who I'm matching with. Okay, hey, you want to take me to Red Lobster? And it's like, oh, go to Red Lobster next.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like at the very worst, it's using people for their money. At the very least, it's just a dopamine hit.
Also, remember, you pay equally on the first date. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You both pay 50-50. If they're not willing to put down 50%, you walk away.
Or just pay or just pay for what you bought, basically.
Yeah, at most, what I'm saying is that most you go Dutch, right? Like, because like I'll do that. I've always been about that, because like I'll be like, yeah, you know, she's gonna want a fancy drink, maybe 2. Yeah, she's gonna get the expensive shit, whatever. You know, I'll just wham right in the middle, right? You know, I'll cover a little bit of that. But like, I'm not like, I've gone on a date, and I've literally had somebody rack up a $250 bill, right? And I'm like, okay, check this out. Like, I told you straight up, like, what the limits were, right? And I was trying not to be, that wasn't a joke. I wasn't trying to be funny about it or whatever. You know, I'm not here trying to, like, you know, blow all my car money on a one night, right?
Yeah,
no. It's like if you like, and this goes out to anybody who wants to get mad about it, right? Why did you eat up $250, $300, $400 of fucking shit and liquor, right? Why did you do that without the ability to pay for it?
Yeah,
because she expects you to pay for it.
No, like that's folly, right? That's folly. That's a bad plan. Okay.
Yeah, like if for me, like I remember when I was younger, even younger, like my teenage years, my mother was like, "Oh yeah, you should pay for like," and I'm like, "No, I shouldn't." Like I know you taught me cursing and stuff, but it's like, "Oh yeah, pay for her," like, or like I think I want to date. It's like, well, we don't have enough money. I'm like, well, she can pay for it. Or I remember I was actually
She can pay for herself. Yeah.
Yeah, I was guilt tripped. You know what? I remember I was like made to feel guilty about it, and later I don't anymore. Where I decided to ask a girl out, and then we had a date, and I'm like, oh, we could see a movie, and like, oh, this works out because I had a ticket voucher because a long time ago there was a movie I was watching, and by the end of it, something happened with the projector or whatever. So, and everyone's like so upset. So they were, and then we watched it, but then everyone in the theater got like a free voucher to say for a free movie. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and I just saved it for a rainy day. I'm like, hey, this is perfect. I can use this on my date. I can like basically like pay for my ticket and be like, hey, here's a little coupon where we can watch this. So we can watch a movie together, and we liked it. And then I'm guilted by my parents saying like, oh, you had a coupon and you used that instead of paying for it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, the other thing is that
like, it was a free movie ticket. Like,
I'm just gonna guess your folks. I'm just gonna guess your folks are in their 50s or 60s.
Not at that time, but
okay. The thing is, keep in mind with that is that like shit didn't cost that much in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, back then it's like $3.
No, that's the thing. They even know that things cost a lot, so
Right.
they're like, well,
No,
you
they
can't
don't
really go on
care.
a date because we don't have money. I'm like, that's
So,
then they
something to note as well, like just because we're saying you should pay for yourself and you should pay 50-50, or you should make sure that they can support themselves as well, right, during whatever, right? That doesn't mean you still shouldn't do things like hold the door open and shit, right? Like, don't be an asshole, but like,
I hold that door open.
I just wanted to make sure that was clear, right? Like,
because the problem is with that, like, and the other deal is that as time goes on, y'all can cover for each other. That's what forms naturally out of any healthy relationship. And when I say
monster than just being a courteous human being of holding the door open, or like, I'll carry the groceries upstairs and you go upstairs. Like that's a whole other thing. But
there's a little star.
Yeah, as you were saying, Capone.
Little star. Just a little star.
Stars. Yay. And sleeves.
But yeah, that's
nice. By the way, nice clickbait thumbnail. Just have to say that.
Absolutely. I worked really hard on it. About 5 minutes. The hard part was finding something to actually use. I went to Rule 34 and I typed in Kitsune and Solo and then found that. Ow. I got a stitch in my
Capone, if you were saying something.
Oh, Capone went to the bathroom.
Oh,
They'll be back.
But yeah, it was. I just didn't like why are you making me feel guilty for using this? It's like, one, I had it for a long time.
Because people think people still think that's how that's supposed to go, but it's not. It's really not.
So, and yeah, that's why I don't like. Or I remember
get
I was
with the times, old man. No, don't date a VTuber. Absolutely not.
No. Well,
okay.
Well, if you knew her before she was she was a VTuber, maybe.
Nope.
But what if you're already like friends and you're already getting close and stuff, and then she became a VTuber?
Nope. Because I'll tell you right now, from experience, we ain't got time for that shit. We ain't got time for that shit. I got 2 of them. You think I got time for that?
Yeah, I remember I would hang out with like one girl or something. That was my teenage years, and then I'd be like, "Well, are you gonna like pay for her?" I'm like, "Mom, we're not dating."
All right, stop. Okay, you need to stop. I know you want to keep talking about it, but you can't keep going. Trauma jumping. Don't do that.
I'm sorry, you're talking to me or?
Yeah, you. It's okay. Well, I just wanted to, calm down. It's all right. We're moving on from the topic. I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
I understand, but too much. So I'm being facetious a little bit about dating VTubers. You don't want to date a VTuber where you both know that they're a VTuber and you interact with their community, right? Because you don't want to be a VTuber, and you don't want to be like, if you're dating a VTuber, you don't want to be a VTuber, and you don't want to be part of like whatever they do as VTubing, because that's mixing work and play. You don't do that. Don't mix work and play. Right? You want to have two distinct separate careers in almost every aspect involving when you're dating someone or when you're with someone. You want that separation because that separation keeps you both from having the same trials and tribulations, and it prevents one of you from doing what is super taboo and telling them how to fix their problems. Right?
It's always good to have what's called decompress. You need something to decompress.
Yeah, someone who doesn't know what's going on.
Can't understand that the other needs to decompress every once in a while, then yeah, like you need to know that ahead of time.
And you want to also clarify when you're talking to each other, right? Are you trying to solve the problem, or do you just want to vent? Because venting is fine, but if you want to solve the problem, you'll give feedback, right? You want to make sure that that's separate.
Run into that just in general online and be like, okay.
Yeah, venting is fine. So
do you need help? Do you want to solve the problem, or you just
man,
about it?
The problem, the reason I specify you need to make sure that you know if you're venting or if you're solving the problem, is because guys specifically don't know if a girl is just venting or if they want to solve a problem. Okay.
Yes.
If they start, you hush. I'm talking.
Sorry.
Me. A lot of times what causes arguments between relationships in modern day is a guy will try to solve a girl's problem and the girl doesn't want them to solve the problem. They're just venting. So you have to make sure you got that clarification. And it's also good practice to communicate. Hey, I don't want to actually solve a problem. I just want to talk to you about this problem that I'm having, right? Maybe I'll come up with an answer for it. Maybe I'm just venting. Who knows? But make sure you communicate, right? That's the most important part about a relationship. Having an event. What?
I think event online, maybe.
I don't get it.
You're venting on the internet.
Yeah, electronic.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's confusing because you're saying event.
Like I said, you don't want to be part of the VTuber scene if you're dating a VTuber. You don't want to be part of like anything that VTuber does. I know it sounds cool. Oh, I'll have my manager be my boyfriend or whatever. It's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah, no.
It's mixing work and play. You don't want to do that. That doesn't mean your manager. That doesn't mean your manager can't be your best friend. But you don't want to mix that.
Yeah, you can't. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. It's one of those things where, like, someone wishes for a bunch of shit, right? You're like, oh man, I want a computer that's got a 4090 Ti and a 15th gen Intel and all of the space and all of the rent. Like, okay, yeah, you can wish for that, right? But what can you afford though? Like, what are you more likely to get, right? You're more likely to get like a 12th gen, 3070. 32 gigs of RAM. So like the ideal would be like, oh man, if I could find a partner, right? If I could find a partner, right? And we can both do the work thing, that would be fantastic, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you find out people that you can work with, you can't date, and vice versa. Don't date at the workplace, by the way.
That's basically what I'm saying. Is don't date at the workplace. Because VTubing is a job. Yeah. If you're not treating VTubing like a job, then you're not working. You're not doing. You're just there, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it 24/7 like I do. or as much as I have done in the past. I've chilled out on it a little bit, but I know that I went really hard on it, but you don't have to do that, constantly to be a good VTuber or anything like that. It's just that, it's a job. It is absolutely a job. It's not fun, per se. That's not correct. I have fun being a VTuber. What's the word I'm looking for, Capone?
I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Editing is the worst. It just depends on what you do.
Editing is fun.
Editing can be a pain. Editing could be a pain depending on what it is you want.
Meanwhile, me.
Yes.
Do you guys like my edited content? Y'all should check it out. It's time consuming. It can be.
I was gonna do more today, but it ran out of time.
It can be time consuming. It just depends on what you're doing, what you want to do, how you want to do it.
It is time consuming as an editor. Yes, it is very time consuming. In fact, editing for me is the only long, tedious, monotonous thing in this world that I love doing. So I will spend like an hour within this, like 30-second seeing and making sure it's perfect.
I will theory craft for hours on end.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I will. You guys don't even know.
Okay, let me adjust the audio level 2 decibels. Okay, now 4 decibels. No, 2 decibels. Okay, 1.5 there. And then 2 hours later, I'll be like, no, it needs to be 2 decibels.
What's that, Capone?
Yeah,
I was gonna get you World of Warcraft, but guess what's not on sale for Blizzard's fucking Black Friday?
Wait, they didn't put. Why didn't they put it on sale?
Because it's doing good.
Are they fucking stupid?
Because it's still no, they're not. It's doing good.
But more money.
That's so stupid.
Well, if you tell a corporation more money, they're going to be like microtransactions, and you're going to be like, no, and then they're going to give you more microtransactions.
I mean, I stopped.
No, I just mean
Blizzard money.
This is the shit that baffles me about big corporations. It's like,
yes,
okay, so if you put it on sale for Black Friday and the expected sale time, even 25% off, right? What's the equation for how much you're going to get in terms of sale increase based on a 25% reduction to sale to the price? Like, I know there's math out there for it, right?
Yeah, there is. But I just think that it's doing well enough that they feel they're saturated. That would be my guess.
That's stupid. That's a stupid.
Hey, look, it's the non-biblically accurate SU-24. It don't have balls.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, they didn't have the balls to War Thunder, and I'm really upset about that. Chengu says it's something like 60%. That sounds about right. Right? Because 25, like, all you need. So I want to give everyone an understanding of what's happened that pisses me off about gaming and a lot of gaming companies. It's mostly big gaming companies that do this, and I don't understand why. It's like, oh, we need to have more money. Well, why are you being stupid about it, right? And my go-to example,
because motherfuckers will spend $60 to $100 on a glittery fucking doesn't even do anything for you in game other than looks pretty.
Yeah. So no. Before that, right? Before microtransactions were really getting kicked off.
DLCs and stuff.
So my biggest and best example, right, is the free money Microsoft literally turned down. Okay. They had it. They had Halo 5 Guardians ported. They had the full functionality of Forge World.
Microtransactions, but go on.
Halo 5. I mean, not before. It was before it got really bad. Because this is before Battlefront 1 and 2.
World of Tanks.
I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, they could have had. They literally had free money sitting on their plate, right? They had Halo 5 Forge World on PC. It was free. That's fine, but they had it on PC. For the entire run of Halo 5 Guardians, its rise and fall, they could have at any point in time released it on PC. And I can understand the first couple of years not releasing it on PC because they wanted it to be an Xbox exclusive, right? But then after that, they had Halo MCC released on PC, right?
Uh-huh.
At that time, they could have also released separately, as a separate game, for full price, Halo 5 Guardians for PC, and gotten oodles of money. Just a shit ton of money. Because they, like, even when it was in a shit state, Halo MCC proved that Halo wanted, that there were plenty of people on who wanted Halo on PC, right? And even after it got good, right, there was just still a market there for Halo 5. And I bet you, like, they just missed out on a whole bunch of money, and I don't know why. I cannot fathom why. Because they already had it ported. They already had the functionality on PC. It was all they had to do was port the rest of the game to PC, and I don't think it would have been that difficult because they already had Forge World, which is the most intensive part of, Halo. That sounds wrong, but that's where all of the assets are. That's where all of the spawning and everything is. Like, they had the core of Halo there on PC for free. They could have just ported the rest of Halo 5 Guardians campaign and the multiplayer aspects to PC and then sold it as $60 game and made a fuck ton of money. And it would have been dirt cheap. And I don't know why.
It's the whole
it doesn't make any sense to me. It was free money.
You just need to give the people what they want, but they think what we want is what the people want. No. That's...
It was
there's also
free money.
There's also the cost consideration. Like, what's it going to cost Blizzard to put this shit on sale? It's going to cost them server space, right? It's going to cost them server load. Really? It's all part of the calculation. Like, I'm telling you, like, they when I say the game's doing good enough, that's what I mean.
And you know what?
Blizzard's got that. It's not even that much on sale, like, at all. Like, there's no sale. Period. You're saying?
Yeah, they don't need it. They don't need it. They don't want it.
So to be clear, Blizzard has an excuse for it because Blizzard has to host the servers themselves. Halo 5 didn't have dedicated servers. Mm-hmm. It's peer-to-peer. No excuse. None whatsoever. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't fucking know.
I stopped giving Blizzard my service a long time ago anyway. The only Blizzard game I play is Blackthorn.
The fuck is Blackthorn? I don't want to know.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It would... Okay. So it's one of their old... It's a very old game.
Oh, so they don't care about it anyway. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
It's actually on their... It's what's cool is, like, it was like, oh, I want to play this. We're gonna play it. And I go to the Blizzard, and you can actually play some of their, like, old games, and it was downloadable for free. So it was like it's like before Warcraft existed.
It's just
someone just accepted a head-on, and I've got R60s.
Oh no.
Yeah,
you're a dude with a shotgun saving your alien planet from a bunch of, like, orcs or whatever, and you fire with the shotgun. Some platforming. It's fun. And I beat it.
Oh shit, that's an Age.
Wasn't there a whole thing about 87% of old games completely unavailable legally? I don't know if it's 87%. I know that there's someone who says that you shouldn't be able to emulate games and stuff on anywhere to play them. But then it's like the way he's worded. No, just fucking words are being said. When he said it, the way it was worded was basically even whenever Nintendo released the game, re-released it on Nintendo Switch, that's illegal. That was the way it was worded. And I'm just like, okay, sure. You try to do that. You try to enforce that. No, wrong button. Huh? Okay.
Shit, I lost eyes on the Age. Fuck, I don't want to get shot down by an Age.
Don't get shot down by an Age. That's insulting.
Yeah, I know it is, but he's got radar missiles, and I'm in the MiG-27, so...
Don't you have... Oh, you don't have flares, do you?
Oh, I have A few of them. I've expended most of them. I was actually going back to base,
The
but then I saw
ESA
the numbers.
says you require original files and console to play them. With that, 87% of vintage games are no longer legally available. Yep, and that includes the games legally re-released by Nintendo on their Nintendo Switch that's re-released on their console that's not the original hardware. Isn't that nice?
I had a big there was a big kerfuffle in another Discord. And the kerfuffle was because we were talking about, exactly this. And the answer the question that I couldn't get answered that really pissed me off, because everyone in there was refusing, because IP is because there's a lot of artists and whatever in the Discord, they're really uppity about IP, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, to what degree do I own this thing then, right? Like, what is, I need someone in here to tell me to what degree I own the thing, right? And here's my problem. My problem is that I own about 30 games on the PS2.
Yep.
I cannot get my PS2 to work.
Yep.
I can't. Yeah. I can't get it to work. I've tried, right? I've tried repairing it. I've tried upgrading it, all kinds of shit, right? I can't find another working PS2. I've already tried 2. I'm not going to do that anymore. That's a fool's game, right? They're old as fuck. Right, so capacitors just even if you don't have the shit turned on, capacitors age, right? So I'm not going to do that. That's horseshit. So why is it illegal for me to have an emulator pop a CD that I purchased into my fucking computer and play my damn game?
I've thought about that.
Because they're afraid of piracy, and it's like they should stop being fit companies instead of complaining about piracy. But here we are.
But yeah, that goes through my head all the time.
The arguments are how long do you expect them to have to supply you parts? I said, as long as people are still using this shit. That's it.
PS2 games are still being made, so.
PS2 games are still being made. Mega Drive games are still being made.
Dreamcast
Thank you, South
games.
America.
Dreamcast games.
All these old games, and I only have a PS3 and an Game with SSD.
I'm not even saying that the manufacturer has to do it. We already have this thing with cars. It's really neat, right? Where you have licensed fucking manufacturers manufacturing parts for cars that have been out of production for ages, right? That's all I'm saying. If we made a law that these motherfuckers have to at the very least allow people to remanufacture the parts to keep these things running, that'd be fantastic. We could fix the motherfuckers instead of having to go, oh man, I don't know if this is a 6185 fucking capacitor or whatever the fuck's written on it. It doesn't matter. I can't tell what that is. It might be just a little bit different than what was originally in there, and I just blasted the whole thing off of trying to fix one fucking trace. That's it. The whole thing's dead now, and I can't find another one because they don't make any parts. Surprise.
Yeah,
I'm not even saying that it's up to. I'm not even saying it's up to Sony to provide me with another fucking PlayStation. I'm just saying there should already be a part supply chain for these motherfuckers.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole right to repair thing as well.
Kind of, yeah.
Makes me think about that.
It's a whole problem that needs to be solved, but no one wants to solve it. Not really. And then they want to complain about emulators.
It isn't there. Yeah, if the solution is because it isn't there, is emulation. That's it. There is no other argument. And the sad thing is that it's a yelling contest started because they're like, well, that doesn't mean. I'm like, it does though. It does.
That's the answer, because there's no other answer. What, you want me to go find
video games? Other than video games, I have the same Monopoly board game that I had when I was 10. I have it. I can still play it. I can still play it. Okay, it's still there. All right.
Exactly.
If I run out of money, if I run out of fucking Monopoly bucks, I can go hit up a Xerox about it. Right. I can't go hit up a Xerox for a damaged game.
Exactly.
Right. But I own it. Right.
It's just a whole thing, and it's well, why
products.
Why am I not allowed to own the thing that I bought that before you guys tried to take that right away? No.
Exactly.
It's not. It's just it's shit. It's all shit.
Yeah, it just the part about this that upsets me is not the reality of the situation, because I was aware. This is why I didn't This is why like my Steam account is like 2 years younger than it should be. I refuse to switch to Steam. I was telling everybody, like, guys, stop getting on Steam, right? Like, this is the beginning of the end. You're not hearing me. Once we get rid of like hard copies of games, we have lost all the power that we had.
Yep.
And we're already losing it.
It's gone. Like it's ever since Steam became the platform, I was like, yeah, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how cool Gabe Newell is. The problem is he's proven that it's a good business model, and so everybody just like with the fucking streaming platform, they're like, oh, we got our own movies, we'll get our own streaming. It's like, no, dude. Like the whole point we went to fucking Netflix for was because we were tired of cable companies bending us over. Like, if we want to watch regular ass TV, it's gonna cost $100 a month. That's what it was.
Yeah,
we're talking in the 90s. If you wanted to have like a couple of not totally worthless fucking channels, I'm saying in the 90s when $100 was $100.
No, I mean it's still $100 just for TV. Fuck the internet. The internet's cheaper than TV right now. It is currently cheaper to go to Comcast and get just internet than it is to get just.
It would be like $200 today, is what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, so like, you know, that the whole point of Netflix was to not have to pay the cable company a bunch of nickel and diamond ass shit because you want to watch TV, right? Because you don't want to have like, you know, oh well, you know, I've got HBO, but I don't have Cinemax, so I can't watch these things that are on Cinemax. It's really stupid. No, Netflix. I'll watch all the movies I want, right? But now we can't have that.
We don't have that anymore. Yep.
You gotta have Paramount Plus. You gotta have Disney Plus. You have to have all this stupid fucking shit. Right? And then,
I need an eye patch toggle and a hat toggle.
That's
all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, moving on. I think we're at 30 more 25 more minutes. So we'll keep going for another 25 minutes and then my shit will be almost dead basically.
Got to get that 3 hour in.
Yeah, it's got to be hit
batteries.
Yeah, I'd go longer, but my batteries are gonna die. Like, I'm not looking at the timer because I want to go. I'm looking at the timer because my batteries are gonna die for my legs and my hip, and one of my controllers is gonna die, but it's the shit controller. So, although that's because
What's a video game you own, Capone, that you love and you cherish, like physical copy, and you'll never get rid of it?
What?
Xenogears.
Oh.
Ooh.
Xenogears? Question mark?
Yeah. PS1. Xenogears. JRPG. It was the first JRPG that I picked up and I was like, yes, this right here. All of this shit, sex, babies. Have it now. I'm not an RPG game player, right? Like, I think that they're incredibly... I think that most RPGs, especially JRPGs, are incredibly, like, confined to what works and what doesn't. And that makes the game boring to me. Right? Like, I mean, a friend of mine tried to get me to play Final Fantasy VII. Before that, it was 6. 6 was a motherfucker. The story was good.
Oh,
the story was good in 6. The story fucking slapped in 6. The gameplay was garbage. But the 6 had the same problem 7 did. You know, like, oh, look, I'm going to summon Bahamut, and then I'm going to use W-Summon, and then I'm going to use Mime, and I'm going to walk away while this goes through and does its thing and wins the game for me, and I'll come back and do it again, if they're still alive.
So what made Xenogears different? You cherish it.
Xenogears introduced a system. Pretty sure it's the first game that did this. And this is in the days of yore, before you had all these magazines and websites and shit to tell you exactly what to do.
Ooh, even before the magazines. Yeah.
Yeah, because the magazines didn't catch every game, right? They didn't catch every fucking game. So
right.
And Xenogears was one of those odd ducks. It was a very limited run. Nobody thought it would do good, but it's called Classic. I remember the last time I saw a copy of it for sale at what's the name of the people that will give you $5 for a game and then turn around and sell it for $50? GameStop. Last time I saw a copy, open box, by the way, at GameStop, $150.
God damn.
And the guy was like, "Someone will buy it," and I'm like, "I hate you." The thing that made that dope and not that was how you actually had to do the meat of your attacks. You needed to guess what combination of buttons would get you a combo.
Yes.
And every time you guessed, you know, XX square triangle X. Oh, I see that a bar has gone up for this move. I'm going to keep doing that move, right? Then you get a sick house combo, or you get an okay combo, or you get a, maybe this combo actually will help me set up for somebody else's shit, right? That was cool. That was the coolest shit. That shit was fucking hype.
So it was more than it was more than just like, okay, magic, fire, 3, kit, heal, do that. It was button there was actually inputs.
You had to press inputs that weren't spoon fed to you, and neither was like how the stuff worked. Like it was more, the game was more like a game. Like, I mean, not to sound like a dumbass, but like that was the deal.
Yeah.
It says a lot when like.
So what Yu-Gi-Oh decks do you play? I play Dragon Maids. Dragon Maids all the way. Dragon Maids. I even have part of a Dragon Maid cosplay that I was gonna do. That I went to tournament what's it called? The thing you do before tournament qualifier, right? I did a tournament qualifier in partial cosplay because I don't have like face paint or anything yet, but I did that and I didn't make it, sadly, but that's because my deck was fucked. Have fun polishing your car. Dragon Maids are my big thing. I don't hate trap tricks, and I think I'm planning to build a Shaddoll deck. I have 3 unopened packs of a rerun of the trap trick structure decks. So I have 3 of them, and I need to do those eventually. I gotta do the deck properly and set it up. But I have 3 of them. I have a full set of the structure deck. Remember when they had a structure deck release 2 years ago, and it had a bunch of key cards in it, like Harpy's Feather Duster, and like it fucked up all of the card pricing. It was great. I loved it. Because it meant like Harpy's Feather Duster went from, oh, this is a really pricey card you can't get very much anymore, to now it's like $1, to get this card. What else do I play? I also do some mixed dragon decks, but those are usually online only. So like random mixed decks that I do. I have a level 8 deck that I do.
Number 3.
On Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I've got a level 8 deck that I like to play that has number 77, the 7 Sins, a Exceeds monster that is awesome, and I love it. And I know it's my boss monster for that deck. Even though the deck is mostly dragons, is my boss monster is the fucking insect. Because you can do a fun little trick where you can get level 8 monsters out really quickly, and then you can Exceeds into the level 8 monster, the level 8 dragon. Then you Exceeds level up with Pain Gainer, which lets you do, which if you have Pain Gainer out, you can remove the board of anything that's not like got the same amount of defense or more than Pain Gainer, and by that point Pain Gainer will have like 2300 defense or something like that, so most things get removed from the field. And then you can pop out, you can do it again, Exceeds into 7 Sens, and 7 Sens is a beat stick with like 4000 attack that can't just be immediately thrown off the field in some cases. It's a little weaker than most beat sticks, but I have fun with it. Talking Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
But otherwise, it was just what are they fucking called? I can't remember the name now. Fur something. That's fair. They're called Fur Hire. Yeah, I did a Fur Hire deck too. That was fun. I like Fur Hires. I think Fur Hires are a deck that everyone should get started on. Fur Hires are a special summon specialty deck that has a very simple rule where the entire deck is based around special summoning each other onto the field. And that sounds OP, but it's actually one of the weaker decks in the world in deck archetypes. But the reason I think everyone should run it at least once in their life is because it helps you get used to the new stuff, right? If you're an old Yu-Gi-Oh player and you don't really know how to Yu-Gi-Oh the new stuff, For Hire is a deck you should play a couple of times and learn how it goes, to learn how special summons how fast special summoning feels like, right? It helps so much you don't even know, right? Dragon Maids does something similar, but I think Dragon Maids is a much higher power level and also a little bit more complicated. I can do some funky shit with Dragon Maids though, so. Although there's a lot of really easy counters for Dragon Maids. I think Dragon Maids get stopped by after 2 or 3 counters, and then it's like, oh, now my Dragon Maids won't do anything. And it sucks because a lot of decks are supposed to be able to walk through 6 counters, and I'm like, this is absurd. You've gone past the normal. Can I have my Pot of Greed back now? Oh yeah, Pot of Greed is banned. Remember that, guys.
Yeah, I remember.
They had it back.
They had YouTube.
They had Pot of Greed back for a little bit. It was limited. I don't know if it's still limited or banned now, but they had it back for a little bit where you could run 1 Pot of Greed in your deck. Yeah, For Hire's my favorite.
Pot of Greed was just a stupid fucking card that shouldn't have been in there in the first place. It's obviously everyone's going to stack Pots of Greed.
Well, I mean, when it first released, Pot of Greed was great, but it was in a slow format. And then when it got Pot of Greed now absolutely fucking destroys. It's insanity, right? Although if you really want to draw power, you can force draw power in any way you want to, because there's a lot of stuff that adds draw power. Draw power is pretty around. For Hires is a simple ass deck. I love For Hires because of how simple it is. God, I can remember the combos.
Always good. MiG-21's always a good choice. I always have fun in MiG-21.
I don't like the MiG-21 as much.
I'm sorry.
I'm over here with the SU-7.
MiG-21 straight up a pilot's plane.
Yeah, and I'm over here with my SU-7 being a nerd. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fast.
The SU-7's not fast.
It's fast for what it is.
Oh, sure. But then it's fighting everything else that can go just as fast, if not faster.
Sometimes.
F1.
I'm not going to catch up to you. If I'm not clean, if I didn't go into the battle with just a gun, I'm probably not going to catch up to you in a MiG-21.
Fair enough.
I have to be clean. No pod, no countermeasures, nothing. Yeah,
fair enough. I mean, the same could be said about SU-7. If I'm not clean, I'm not going that fast anyway.
You have more. I'm going to use this word in the wrong context. Well, not the right context, but it's not the thing. Su-7s have more torque. You guys are less affected by not being clean than say a 20 or a fighter. Most fighters. There's a couple of fucking caveats to that. Like the Doritos, for instance. Fucking bastards.
Right. I think an F4 beats the shit out of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, F4 is stupid. F4 is stupid fast. That's why people use them the base bomb.
Yeah. But it's the problem is the SU-7 doesn't compare to the F4. Not really. Maybe if I could do 2 bombs and get away with that and then fucking, zoom, then I could absolutely be alright with F4s, but I can't do that because you can't kill a base with that. And you can't kill any significant Anyway, we're talking about War Thunder if anyone wanted to know what we were talking about. Sorry, Capone is playing War Thunder. I don't have it installed, but I remember how it was to play SU-7, so unless they did something fucking wild to bombers, I don't think they have.
Well, I think they increased how good napalm is, but what I'm trying to get at is that the Suka-7s, as I like to call them, are 9-3s. That means that there is an Phantom that you can see, and that an Phantom is not very good.
It'll still kick the ass of an SU-7. Yeah. I thought for a second that maybe the other SU-7 would be... The other SU-7... So, there's 2 SU-7s. M2 is trash, right? It's going to shit BR. It's a 9-3. It's a shit BR. It encounters the other SU-7. The other SU-7 is the M4 SU-7. The M4... Or am I thinking the SU-22?
You're thinking of 22.
Aren't they all?
Or the 17,
they're all
sorry.
9.3, aren't they?
No. The 17.
Oh yeah, the 17 is 10 and 11 is 10 and 11. Yeah, unless they change it.
10-7.
One's 10-7, the other one's 11.
11-3.
Yeah, because
the 11-3 I disagree with bigly.
The 11.3 is fucking stupid because it's just an up engine SU7. No, the SU7s. There's the first one and the second one. I do know there's a difference between the two, and the difference is one's got a better engine and has IR missiles. I think it gets R60s, but that's all it's got going for it. I just mean in general, like over the original, the other SU7.
Yeah. Again, lower top speed, but it probably gets there. You know what I mean? Like that's probably the difference.
Yeah, it'll go faster than the first one. The second SU7 will. I would be okay with
R60Ms versus R60s. Okay.
For the SU7s.
For the 17s. So the 17 M2 gets 60s, no M. The M4s gets 60s M.
Yep, and it gets more of them. You can get 6 of them on the M4, but the M2 can only get 2. It might be able to get 4.
Trolly.
Yeah. Yeah, you can load up the M4 as a dogfighter with gun pods and the missiles. You can have full missiles and a couple of gun pods strapped to it, and you can just fucking beat the shit out of people. If you're good at dogfighting and you know fist fighting
energy
people,
management, really, yeah.
If you're good at that,
energy management, yeah,
you'll kick ass with that thing. The SU-17 and M4, the M2, garbage. It's so bad. They did relatively recently give it the bomb computer that you have in third person. It used to not have that. They gave it to that, but like that was right before I left the game. And the M4 had it the entire time, but they added it to the M2, and I'm just like, okay.
Boggles my mind is where they put it.
What?
I get it, they put it on the Sukhoi line, but it really probably should have been in line with, I don't know, I thought it should be in line with the fucking frog feet.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But
because the 27 wasn't meant to be multi-role. The 27 was meant to be like the giant air superiority thing.
Yeah, the 27's an interceptor. The MiG-29 is the fighter. I think 27's interceptor. I know the 33's an interceptor. It's a naval interceptor.
They're both fighters.
Yeah.
Holding air quotes when I say that. The whole multi-roleness of both of them, I think more with the 27 than the 29. The whole multi-roleness about them came later. I think the 29's multi-rolling came in first because it's cheap. Yeah, and normally when it comes to Russian ground attack doctrine, they would rather throw a horde of cheap things at ground targets.
Yeah. The 27, the reason I call it an interceptor is because if I remember right, the way I read it right was there's the fighter role and interceptor role. I had to look into what an interceptor was in plain terms because I didn't know this until more recently, relatively speaking.
Okay, then go on.
That the interceptor is supposed to have a lot of fuel and go very far relative to a fighter, and it's meant to intercept other things. Who knew? Right? I always thought
the only difference between a fighter and an interceptor is the interceptor is cranked to intercept. So altitude and speed are maxed out.
Yep.
Like that's it.
So
the F-104 interceptor.
Yeah, when I looked this up at the time, I had thought of interceptor as this plane gets up there and goes, right? But I always thought the fighter it's supposed to be able to stay up there, right? So like if you have a fighter, yes, it's going to be cheaper, but like it's designed to, loiter around and be a nuisance and be a fighter, right? No, it's the other way around. The interceptor is the one that can loiter around and be a fighter and be a nuisance. The fighter is supposed to be like quick reaction, get up there and, get into the shit, right?
Huh. I wonder whose doctrine that is, because it's the like, at least with America, we don't do interceptors anymore. We haven't in a long time. But our and with Russia too, like there's a yak that has no fuel load.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has no time in the air. I think if you max it out, it's one of the Yak 3s. If you max it out, it's still like 20 minutes tops for the fuel load. It's because they cranked the engine. They overtuned the engine as much as they could to get as much fucking horsepowers at like all altitudes as they could to get it to altitude as quickly as possible because it's an interceptor. So what happened with this Yak is that you'd get to altitude and have 5 minutes of gas.
Yeah. No,
and like that's fine because you're launching when people see bombers, right? And you're getting up to that bomber altitude to then harass the bombers, and then you can just coast home. Was the idea?
Yeah, that's kind. I think that's been the doctrine for most interceptors. Like, because while the U.S. stopped doing it when we did have interceptors, that was how the U.S. did interceptors too.
Because now how it is basically you burn a lot of fuel to get to altitude. You go drink, right? You hook up with a tanker, and then you go on about your business.
Yeah, not Russian stuff. Russian stuff still doesn't do that. But the 30, I know the 33, which is the multi-role naval thing. That's one of the reasons why the 27 is multi-role, is because of the 33. Because they had to figure out how to put bombs on it and stuff so they could have one fighter for their navy that they don't have. The 33 can be fitted with a lot of fuel tanks. It's like 3 of them that are huge ass fuel tanks, and it can sit there and go for hours in the air.
Something that still
big ass kite too.
Something that I still chuckle at to this day. I remember a bunch of people confusedly asking me about these oh, the Russians are attacking cities. It's like, what? And the video, the evidence of this happening were like, oh, just in the outskirts of this town, there's now a fucking crater, right? And it's like, holy fuck. And I saw that and I said, no, oh no, right? And the homies were like, what? I'm like, okay, so we cut off Russia's access to our satellites, so they don't have satellite guidance anymore. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, you don't understand. They're like, what? I'm like, Russia's TV guided munitions, which is what they're using now because they don't have GPS guided anything. There was a whole thing, and apparently they didn't fix it. So what happened was exactly how I called it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The porta potty.
Yeah, the porta shitters are bright white. They're as white as fuck because there's no other way to find them at night, right?
Capone's not part of Perun or Remy's community.
Ooh-huh.
And don't insult us about Remy, okay? Fuck Remy. All he does is scream anymore. Hate it. Stupid.
I know who that is. But anyways, the joke
Remy's
is that
YouTube creator.
Oh, okay. The funny thing about these TV guided missiles is that the early development of them.
It's okay. I was joking.
They would go after the brightest thing, no matter what. They couldn't stop it. The missiles couldn't help themselves. So there were like dozens on dozens on dozens of these craters just outside of big cities, and I said, wait a minute. Are there porta shitters out there, right? And then days later, everyone's like, "Oh, here's the porta shitter, and now here's the crater," right? And it's like, yeah, I was right.
So like anywhere they were doing like construction or something.
Because Russia doesn't know how to do things, and so
they don't know how to do shit. Their TV guided shit sucks compared to ours.
At first, I thought you were gonna say that they were guessing where they were shooting because they didn't have GPS, and so it's like, oh.
No, they were using a TV guided stuff.
They're having to rely on Russian-made ordnance.
Yeah.
And Russian-made ordnance, 9 times out of 10, is extremely flawed.
Who's Perun? I know who Remy is. Remy isn't like... I don't watch them anymore because all of their stuff... Like, they just posted a video about nuclear option, and this is probably what led to me not having a good community interaction in nuclear option. Is immediately after... so, I bought nuclear option, and then I noticed Remy had posted the video like 2 hours prior, and I'm like, ah, shit. But I went ahead and tried to interact positively with the community, and I didn't have a good interaction at all. So I refunded the game. But like, I'm pretty sure Remy's video, which in the first 4 seconds is him screaming, actually, right? Remy's video, in conjunction with, you know, him screaming and being the kind of person and content creator he is, led to, at least in part, a negative reaction with the rest of the community for Nuclear Option, which pushed me away from Nuclear Option. Which is really unfortunate because the game itself is great, but, you know? So, what were we talking about?
Do we call it the Asmongold effect?
I mean, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, in this case, it's because Remy does a lot of military stuff, but, like, I wouldn't say he's particularly entertaining to me anymore. I'm not going to say he's not entertaining because, you know, numbers don't lie, but I don't know how much of that is, you know, because he was entertaining and he stopped being as entertaining, or how much is kids who are watching his stuff, right? Because, like I said, the first, I can say with utter confidence, the first 10 minutes of Remy's video on Nuclear Option is him screaming. He yells about something, right? He screams in the first 10 minutes. And it's awful. It's terrible. I genuinely think that's awful, right? So, and it's not because Remy's awful, right? It's because the kind of person that watches a video after listening to someone scream about something and sticks around to watch it for the drama or whatever isn't the kind of person you want watching your video to go to these communities and interact. They're not great people. What?
I see.
What?
Oh my god. Yeah, I just watched the first little bit of that video and I see what you're talking about.
10 seconds. It's that. I think it's like a whole 10 seconds. It's just him screaming.
30.
30 oh god, that's even worse. I didn't get that far. I only went 10 seconds.
He's though he's still yelling.
Oh no.
50 seconds, still yelling.
Like I said, that's all he does anymore. And it's really unfortunate because I don't think that's what got him popular, but it's definitely what pushed me away from his content. The fact that he does still yell.
Hey, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah, it has. We were talking about Remy, Remy Down Under, who does videos, content on YouTube, and screams a lot, because that's what he does. And I don't know if he cares, right, that people don't like him for screaming. I think he just likes the views. And that's really unfortunate, because I think he could be a great content creator, but, like, he's objectively worse for it. I will stake my viewership on that statement. The Australian, yes. Is he Australian? Okay. Chat. Twitch chat. Regular chat. YouTube chat. Hey guys. Don't forget you can donate and stuff. Now you can do it directly through YouTube. Or you can do it through my Buy Me a Coffee in the description below. Twitch, I have to fix the Buy Me a Coffee link. I have a 2 in there for some reason. But yeah. That doesn't matter, Claude, these days. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow, and go to my Discord if you haven't already. I will be back sometime later to stream more eventually. Bye, good night, bye, good night, bye, good night.